Excuse me. Pardon me.
What is happening? Welcome everybody to Wednesday Night Live. Most of us are here. Tonight's show is about our opinion on what we feel is top shelf, top brands, what hardware, e-liquid, YouTube reviewer. Also, heads up, next week's show will be on Thursday, not Wednesday. Will be on Thursday. I'll make sure to let everybody know with promos and all that stuff. But our guest next Thursday will be Allison. Tom, say her last name.
I don't remember it now, damn it. Anyway, tune in next week. You'll find out who it is.
Yeah, Allison Bogner. Bogner?
Bogner.
Yeah, if you're on Twitter, you'll know who she is.
Yeah, if you're on Twitter, you know she is. She's with esigcharleston.com. You go check her out. Twitter page, I think I'll get that put up there for you guys. But let's say hello to, Tommy, I'm so sorry, Tommy. Let me fit in with Tom. Hold on, here we go.
You're kind of fucked up there, old man.
I'm there. I got the shades on.
All right. We're good.
Yeah. Let's say hello to our good friend from Wisconsin, motherfucking Tom.
What's up, everybody? I am glad to be home. This weekend took a lot out of me. It was just 14-hour nights of just nonstop going and walking and riding around and dealing with stupid drunk people. I'm glad to be here.
Are you using your stepper? Do you check your steps? Because I would if I was doing your kind of job you're doing. You checking it, right? How much you're walking every day?
I put in about 7-8 miles every day.
Dude, I just saw somebody post. They have 1 million. They hit the 1 million mark in walking.
They walk too damn much. Driving's a lot easier.
Lies.
What do you think? You think it's bullshit or what?
Gotta be.
You think it was edited? Because that just seems like a lot, man.
Can I add one element to the conversation? Because Tom has the same watch that I have, and we can both attest to the fact this fucker records steps when you're sitting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think...
If you're riding in a side-by-side or golf cart, it'll vibrate and it'll count as steps.
Okay, but I'm thinking now, for me, I don't know. I'm trying to think how long that watch has been out that's been doing that.
The Gear S3?
Yeah, is that
That's
the
what
first...
we have. I would say it's, at least 3 years old?
Yeah, there's got to be ones prior to that watch, right?
I think there was. I think there was an S2.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, shit like that.
They
made ones that were just specifically for working out and stuff.
Hold on a second. Yeah. I have a little one that I don't want to get in.
What? Huh? Who? What?
One of John's relations showed up.
One of my little nephews showed up, and I want to make sure he doesn't pop up on the show because, it is
a vaping show. Yeah.
It's a vaping show, Michael. I'm sorry. I'll come in and hug you in a minute. He's all right. Yeah.
Hey, Cloud.
No. By the way, Grandpa, can I hit that jewel? No.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know how long those watches have been out. And say even if it's been out 10 years, is it possible that someone could hit 1 million miles in 10 years or 1 million steps in 10 years?
Maybe.
I feel like it's a bit...
we need Brian here to do the math.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not all 1,000% legit. I think some of those steps are not actual walking steps. They probably just looked down and went, oh my God, I got like 5,800 steps today. And they don't know if that is an actual step or their watch, the wrist vibrating, mowing the lawn.
Well, right. Even if it's bullshit.
I agree, Captain Nasty.
Even if it's bullshit, though, is it possible? Is it possible? I mean,
well, people do crazy shit like walk from the West Coast to the East Coast or vice versa for some cause or because they're just retired and got nothing better to do.
Right?
I think the most I've done on a hike was 33,000 some odd steps, which I don't know what ended up being. I can't remember, but that was like the most I did in one day.
I got you beat.
I mean, hell, Forrest Gump ran across the country just because he was bored.
That's Forrest, damn it.
Well, if this was a game like golf where you get the lowest number of steps, I got 0 steps on a hike.
Well,
I don't hike.
Well, even just walking around, I mean, just the average person walking around. Now, you're back to work, Tim.
Yep.
I mean, so you're up and about, walking around a little bit more than you have been.
That is true.
Have you checked what you've done?
Negative, Ghost Rider. I honestly,
Tim don't give a shit.
I actually don't give a zero F's are given for how many steps are required during the course of the day. All I know is that I legit walk from the front of the building to the back of the building a lot.
Oh man! So Tim, how's your day going? How many calories have you burned today, Tim?
How many have I burned, or how many have I gained? Which I'm gonna lean to the latter. I don't know. I mean, we're still kind of like in that kind of weird pocket where it's kind of hot and muggy, and then you get a little sweaty, kind of moving around and doing warehouse work and stuff like that. So there's this misnomer that you're actually burning calories, but then that gets canceled out immediately when you have free potato chips and snacks in the snack room. So I'm going to say, for the sake of argument, I think I broke even today.
All right, that's good.
Must be nice, man. I've had to wear jeans and a hoodie when I was working this past weekend because I was cold.
Well,
it was down in the 40s and shit.
Well, it's a warehouse, so you typically dress whatever the conditions are outside. So eventually I'll be on the show and John will ask how I'm doing, and I'll bitch about the fact that I'm too fucking cold, that there's no heat in the warehouse.
Understandable.
I'll send you my 101 degree temperature your guys' way anytime.
I'll take it.
I'll take anything that you guys have. I would be happy at this point to put pants and a sweatshirt on. I would be happy.
It was horrible.
I'm okay with like the early part of fall. I kind of like that where you kind of get like a 70-degree day, and then it'll maybe drop down into like the high 50s or something at night. And you can kind of have a little bit of balance in your life.
Daniel.
All right, Daniel. Well, this is this is why when Daniel shows up at the show, he's just freaking ornery as hell, because he gets in his car to go home from work, and then that's when you get all the silly, stupid drivers, and he's mad at all the people that were tailgating him or driving too slow or not using their blinker. Then he gets back in the house and he's mad as hell, and then he just takes it out on vaping.
He takes it out on us.
Yeah, he takes it out on us, everybody in chat, the Eagles.
I got a skin. Bring it on, Daniel.
He goes off on everybody because you know how they say, like you get this little I don't know what the ism kind of thing is called, where it's like, oh, if it was meant to be, set it free, it'll come back, that kind of thing. Like I kind of feel like Daniel's like one of those sort of isms, and where it's like. It's the squonk hate, honestly. I think it's one of those little isms where it's like, you always hurt the ones that you love.
Yeah.
And so he shows up and he yells and screams at us, but it's like kind of like, being punched on the playground. It means he likes us.
Yeah, I guess. All right, we'll take that. I'll take that.
Victor, we can see your name.
Good.
We can see your name and your profile picture, bro.
And
look at
your
that
picture, son of a bitch.
Right.
So everybody out there, I want to know. I need to know. Everybody out there, I know we all have these watches. I'd like to know how many steps you're doing a day. So let me know. Let me know. Cloud Queen, how many steps are you doing? Tebow, Luke, Victor, Daniel, Michael, all you guys. Captain
Apparently,
Nasty.
I don't even have the step thing. Oh, yes, I do.
Hold on. You do.
I got it. I got the calorie thing. I burned 1,500 calories today.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Tim.
Anybody wanted to know, it was 1,500 calories, and you'll be disappointed. Oh, no, that's workout, 14 minutes. Where's the steps? Oh, here. Is this the steps? Yeah. Well, it's claiming 4,876 steps. John's frozen. I think California just finally fell off the friggin' lower 48. Oh, everybody pray for California. You know what? And odds are they're probably testing his internet again at 6 o'clock in the evening. So it's going to leave me and Tom here to friggin' hold down the show and try to come up with shit to talk about. But Tom and I are smart, right? Tom and I actually will talk about vaping, okay? Yeah. John likes to talk about steps. We don't want to talk about steps. Who wants to really talk about how many steps? Let's talk about vaping. So, Tom.
Yes, sir.
What are you vaping on tonight, and what have you got in the pipeline that's new, that's coming down the pike, that has interested you?
All right. tonight I am vaping some white currant from Superb.
Woo. Okay, that's a good juice line, by the way.
No, white peach from them also.
Nice.
And a Taylor Salts Smooth Tobacco non-salt.
So you're rolling 3 different vapes tonight.
Yep.
Good on you.
And I am hoping to get all the parts and shit necessary so my Abyss doesn't freaking leak.
That's right. Tommy's had a leaky Abyss. Now, I know that sounds like a medical condition, but it's actually a vape.
Leaking Abyss sounds kind of like would be a really good metal band name.
A leaking. Damn, Tom, I'm sorry about your leaking Abyss.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So I have my Abyss on the way. It should be here tomorrow. There was a small delay at JFK Airport, but it is supposed to be out for delivery tomorrow. So I will share my results with the group. But what devices are you using in conjunction with those fantastic juices, Tom?
Okay, with the caramel tobacco, my UB Light Pod.
Okay.
With the white peach, and to make Daniel happy. Us too.
Look out, squonking.
With a Requiem on top.
Nice.
And the current is the Guar 21, also with a Requiem on top.
Wait, hold that mod back up again. Can you turn it sideways like you had it before? It's kind of like triangular on top. No, Oh no, it's okay. So
it's just the way I was holding it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I had to retreat. I had to retreat back to my rebuildable self. I'm only actually vaping on one thing right now. I actually could have 2, but I don't think I have any. I do. I got a little bit of juice in there, so we could turn this into a two vape device night. But I had to go back to the Lost Vape Gruss or Gruss or whatever you want to freaking call it. I'm running the Arbiter RTA on top. And I had a bit of an epiphany this week, and Daniel, he made a really good point, but I was struggling with the Arbiter. I don't know how many people in the group or on the chat actually have the Arbiter, but if everybody's seen that RTA, it was created by the same guy who created the Zeus X RTA. His name is escaping me right now. I wanted to say Jason, but it's not Jason. He's Asian. He owns Oxfa. That's his thing. He has Oxfa, and he has all kinds of really cool devices. But this RTA is a top airflow design RTA. It's top airflow, but with bottom airflow impact, right? So y'all can see the airflow goes into the top, so that prevents leaking. And then the air goes in, goes down. It's forced downwards. There's like a chimney cover that goes over top of your coils in the entire deck that forces the air down south, and then it kind of comes back up through the bottom of the coil. So you get a top airflow design with bottom airflow impact, or what's the word I'm looking for? Anyhow, impact, but the reason I had to go back to the rebuildable, not because I've turned into a lazy factory coil sub-ohm tank vapor. I love the hell out of my Swag PX80. Everybody knows that. It's on the show literally every week. But I ran out of coils basically. And so at this point I have coils in the pipeline, but they just didn't beat that burn up coil to the punch. So I had to go back to the rebuildable. But my point was, and I shared it with people in the vape group. I found out something really interesting. Is, and we can all admit that not all RTAs and RDAs and ADDIs are created equal, and sometimes the way you install the coils on that particular deck can make a big difference in exactly the kind of vape you get off of it. So I spent some time, and I went back, and I was struggling. I was getting a pretty good vape cloud-wise, but just no flavor. So I went to the video, went to the news at 11, and I ended up finding out that I was setting the coils a little too high, just a little too high. So
it's amazing.
I pulled them down a little bit, brought them more towards the center, and it's night and day.
It's amazing what even like 1 millimeter difference in coil height will do.
Yeah, I mean, this legit was like maybe 2. It was maybe 2 millimeters, and I was actually a little concerned. The resistance actually dropped on it too. It was sitting strong at a 0.17 when I had it before. and then I shortened the leads, and it dropped down to a 0.14. So it's holding steady at a 0.14 at 80 watts. Oh, and vaping the Jam Monster Apple.
There you go.
Yeah, RTAs are finicky. They think
really
the
are,
biggest,
Brian.
Yes, thanks, Brian, for chiming in. We realize that you're late, but you have time to chat with the group. So you need to... Unfortunately, Brian, we can't invite you into the show. So he's stuck chatting with the people in the group. But, yeah, so I'm happy with that. RTAs are finicky. I think RTAs are more finicky, I think, for me, from a wicking standpoint.
Yeah.
I think that's where RTAs probably have the most unique difference. Is that if you don't wick them right, you're either going to get a flooded deck, a leaky ass airflow, or it's just not going to vape as well.
Right.
I wish Brian was here because Brian has some unique stuff to share. He's got some really cool. He got some cool shit in the mail, and I don't want to give away too much because I'd rather him do the delivery on that. You know what? Brian, I can't do mesh. I have no interest in mesh at all.
I tried, and I can't.
What's the consensus on mesh in the chat?
Oh boy, here we go. Starting to war.
You got this is like the proverbial like iPhone versus Android fight. Okay, so you either
I go Android.
What's up, Mike? What's up, Chris? What's up, Corey? What's up, Luke? Saw Cloud Queen, Cap Nasty, Daniel, Victor. Excited because we can see who he is this time. Phil in the house. I saw Tho a little earlier. Mallory's in there. Mallory, I haven't had a chance to read your response to the DM on the DIY thing, so I will read your response on that. But beyond that, no. Yeah, I think RTAs are a little bit harder to kind of dial in just right, and there's a little bit of learning curve to that. But mesh, do people like mesh or not like mesh? Who here is an old schooler? Got to do like
the coils,
just a standard 6-wrap coil, and who here is like mesh all the way, bro? Clouds for days.
Straight up coils.
Yeah, I don't know. I just cannot shed. I can't shed my old school ways. I'm not gonna lie and say that I haven't had factory made sub-ohm coils that were mesh.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think it's the same. I don't think that's the same as like those mesh kind of bridge setups that you get on the profile and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Not for me. In pre-made coil. Oh, wait. Should that comment attach to your previous comment, Mallory? I have no problem with my RT. We can't even put comments up on the screen, so if we're reading, we apologize. I have no problem with my RTAs. It's all a learning curve. My Limo, it's a bitch to wick, but my Themis, I don't even know these devices. I'm hoping these are typos. Is quick and easy. I don't know.
I don't know. And the Themis are legit products.
Okay, I don't know those devices. Sorry, I know a lot about a little, or little about a lot, but I don't know about those.
I believe the Themis it's an RTA mesh, or a mesh RTA.
Okay. Well, a lot of people were really happy with the Zeus X mesh that came out. A lot of people were on board with that one. I don't know. There's just something about the whole idea that, you could completely get this massive dry hit on it.
Yeah, I had that once and not a fan. It felt like my lungs were just toast.
Right. So we got some. I only really like when we finally get to it, and I don't want to ruin it. But I got one big article tonight, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people. But why don't
Mallory? I was wrong. It's a pulseless coil deck.
Yeah, see, I have to look into those. I'll have to look into those. And Pels, I still need to ship out your shipment. I haven't had a chance to. It's been kind of past couple crazy days, and then I'm trying to get caught up with life. But I guess everybody heard. I don't know that I shared it last week. We're going to go over in the news tonight. A bunch of other companies got issued MDOs in the PMTA process, which is... You know what? I have the Bonds RDA, Jermaine. I have that. I got that a long time ago, and I was using it on the G-Box 200. I was squonking on it. No, I don't know. I have a package in the mail today. I don't know that it would get here that fast, Mike. What's that, Corey? It's a 37 millimeter vapors. Oh wait, well, I have the Asgard from Vapors Cloud. I don't know what the VMC T2 is. I can't share my screen, so like all this fun stuff we could look up right now, I can't
Same.
share the pictures with people.
And
But yeah,
I do love the Asgard Mini.
Yeah, the Asgard Mini is probably hands down my favorite RDA across the board when it comes to clouds and flavor. Yeah, well, that's going to be like the primary news story tonight, Victor. So we're going to talk. It's a kind of a long article anyway, and it kind of touches us on a lot of different points and things like that. So I'm sure most people here are aware of what's going down tomorrow, but I don't want to glean too much from the news this early on. We're only 20 minutes into the show. We've already lost the host of the show. So it is what it is, but I don't want to tip too many hats. So I'm pretty sure everybody who's on the advocacy side of things and all you regular vapors, tomorrow could be a big day for a lot of people, one way or the other.
I got a feeling tomorrow's going to suck.
Yeah, I got a strange suspicion about all that. I don't know. I mean, I'll share a personal story. It has nothing to do with vaping, so sorry if I get off the topic here. But they're trying to do a particular project here in my neighborhood. I'm a first-time homeowner, and so, you don't really think about things and care about particular things until you actually are directly impacted by it. So they're trying to do this project in my neighborhood. And so, with respect to opposition, they were holding a hearing last night that was designed to allow people to get up and speak publicly in opposition to this particular project, which has impact not only environmentally, and I'm talking about natural environmental grading and wetland and stuff like that, but it also impacts wildlife, and subsequently, ultimately, it's going to impact the homeowners in the neighborhood because what they want to do, right? So it's going to bring noise pollution, light pollution, all kinds of different things. I hate to say I'm turning into my dad, but good Lord, so we went in opposition, and I kind of sort of feel like what I saw last night was very reminiscent of how kind of like this whole vaping kind of fight has gone, where you go into this big room with a bunch of people you don't know, and then you walk down and there's this table with like 6 people who all work for the county or the city or whatever, and they're staring back at you. And I'll be honest, it didn't matter what we said last night. It didn't matter how much we shook our heads and pounded our chest. They did what they wanted to. They ended up, I wouldn't say they approved the project, but they approved something that will allow the project to progress. And it really is a disheartening feeling. And so that's kind of how I liken how things have gone in a lot of ways up to this point. And then beyond that, you got the idea that tomorrow the FDA is going to chime in on us, and I don't know. I have a lot of reservations about how it's going to go down tomorrow. Tom,
I am not looking. I'll make it short and sweet. I am not looking forward to waking up tomorrow and scrolling through Facebook and Twitter and all that and seeing everything that's gone.
Yeah, I'm just, it's interesting to me that, it's interesting to me in the sense that we don't really have any leaks or anything coming out. I mean, all we can kind of go by is sort of the activity of, how things have been kind of coming out in the news and the MDOs that have been issued out to a lot of the companies and stuff, which is unfortunate. Although I do think that, these companies are going to try to stay alive in a lot of ways. By moving to the synthetic nicotine.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be sort of the next wave until they figure that out.
Or black market.
Well, black market for sure. But I mean, from the synthetic perspective, a lot of companies have been kind of rolling that since spring. Ooh, the Shadow Realm. That sounds really interesting. I wonder what you can do in the Shadow Realm. There's probably lots of like dragons and knights and all kinds of stuff. The Shadow
and
Realm
dwarves
makes it sound very dark and mysterious.
And people that need to get the hell out of their mom's basement.
Well, that's the Shadow Realm.
I know.
Yeah, because that's the real Shadow Realm where you exist, just to exist.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And to make stupid ass comments on a vaping show.
All right, so Mallory has some insight. So Capitol Hill is talking about taxing vaping, a federal tax. There's got to be something out there for them to tax. Well, isn't that really the crux of it, right? I mean, they don't really have, I mean, they have control over the tobacco industry, and then they're saying that vaping is effectively a tobacco-related item just because of the nicotine and where it's extracted from. But it's not like alcohol or cigarettes or anything that's sort of federally, quote unquote, FDA approved that for consumption. However, they do gain a lot of revenue from those two sources. States equally, I don't know about federally regulating alcohol, but I mean, yeah, the feds they don't have any control over it in that regard, so they're not making any money off of it.
All right, Alyssa's dad's gone.
Yeah, have a nice night. Yeah, I think that was something else too, Victor. Is that I think I did an article on it a few weeks back, and in the end, I think part of it is a setup for basically like an MSA version 2.0, where here's the problem in that though, at least how I see it, right? Because when you're talking about the tobacco industry, I mean, you're talking about multi-billion-dollar organizations who basically lobbied people, kind of, saying that cigarettes weren't dangerous and encouraged people to smoke and all that other stuff. And then when things turned ugly, these are multi-billion-dollar organizations that can afford to kind of put up that kind of money, hush money, if you want to call it that, or whatever. Given back to the states. I don't think the vaping industry at large, when you really kind of if you take the Juuls and the Vuses and all that stuff kind of out of the equation, I mean, we're not really that strong independently when you look at independent vape manufacturers or vape product manufacturers and things like that. I mean, these companies aren't, selling hand over fist, making billions of dollars.
It'll be interesting to see how many manufacturers get bought out by big tobacco.
Well, right, but who are the ones that will cave to that, though, right? Because right. I mean, the vape industry likes to stand strong and argue that we're not big tobacco.
Yeah,
and so they're going to turn. They're going to turn.
If they're throwing seven figures at you, you'd be hard pressed not to take the money and run.
No, I mean, if it meant being able to stay alive, but I mean, when you think about Juul in general, I mean, Juul's not really bringing much to the table other than wanting to keep their products on the market, right? Because they have such a huge market share. They're not quite the 70% they were before. I think they're down to about 40% market share, just because of how they've been kind of demonized across the board.
Well, you see Victor's comment there. Been talk of Juul going to pharma.
But well, what do you mean from the synthetic sort of side of things? Because I think that was the argument around synthetic nicotine, is that
I don't know
that you can't call it a tobacco product because the extraction. I mean, it's lab made, right? So it's not made from tobacco. It's not extracted from tobacco. It has nothing to do with tobacco. It's just another thing that the government will try to close a loophole on. And I think I did read somewhere where they were talking about it could be possible to see the FDA go after synthetic nic from a pharmaceuticals perspective.
Right.
Which I don't know what that really is going to mean. That'll just be the next fight. And then that'll be the next anti-fight that you see on Twitter and all the other channels. I think, was it Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids brought it up already? I think they actually did chime in on it from an article's perspective, not their little average dumbass tweets that they put out all the time, which is sort of the same regurgitated crap that we fight against. But this was an actual article sort of opining the federal government to be aware of the fact that they're aware that a lot of these companies that are getting MDO orders and potentially thinking about pulling back and going the synthetic route to stay alive, that there's going to be more of it, and that they need to regulate that too. That they've discovered what we have announced as our loophole.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't. We know they're watching what we're doing and saying and all that. So damn well they're listening to when we come up with loopholes.
Oh well, of course, because we're not quiet about it either.
Oh God, no. And we really should be for some things.
What do you mean it was me, Brian? That I started Alyssa's dad's stupid comments?
No. I don't remember. Brian, enunciate yourself, sir.
I'm looking for the previous comment that alludes to exactly what that's all about. Right, but I mean, true, Mallory. But I think that's the whole loophole in it, is that regardless of where it comes from, it doesn't come from tobacco. So the FDA has no regulation over it.
Oh, so Centers for Tobacco-Free Kids.
No, okay, yeah, it was Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, and they wrote an article or a news piece or an op-ed or something like that, kind of calling on the Federal Drug Administration, or at least the government, or for them to be aware of the fact that all these companies are talking about switching to synthetic nicotine, so that in fact they could continue to sell their products. But does that excuse them from everything, though? Is that how that works? Like, if they switch the nicotine style and it doesn't make it a tobacco product, that they can continue to do the flavors without the same sort of attack that the PMTA process is going through? Anybody know how that works? You know what? You want to know my argument on that one? If I saw Juul deciding to go to the pharmaceutical level, then fine, they can take their 60 milligram shit and shove it up their ass and go pharma and give it out as prescription based, right? I'm not saying that there aren't people from a quit perspective potentially needing that much nicotine or that type of delivery system in order to help them quit. I mean, let's say they're a 3-pack a day smoker.
Then they would need at least
they probably need something that strong. But like all of us who are here in this group here who've been vaping for a while and happen to have some pods or whatever, we don't need that. We don't need 50 milligram or 60 milligram. I think we all pretty much fine with 24 or 36 at the top level. I don't think we need to go that route. But if they want to, fine. Take their 60 milligram Nick salts and go pharma.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay with me. I really don't mind. Okay, well, I can't share the article. I'm so disappointed. I can't share my screen.
Yeah, we can't do nothing we normally do.
Well, I was going to throw in a bit of a caveat story tonight, and it actually wasn't on my radar as being something that I wanted to talk about. But I don't really need to share the article in order to talk about it. So, for the sake of fun articles tonight, the bullshit article that was out today, I kind of caught on to this. This was 9 news out of Australia. Too bad we don't have Paul with us tonight, because I'm sure he probably heard about this too. So the title of the article, or the gotcha headline, the clickbait headline was, "She was in a lot of pain. Call for ban on flavored vapes popular with young Australians." That's the clickbait headline. A health charity is calling for a ban on the over-the-counter sale of vapes after finding harmful chemicals, including, get this, folks, this is being reported. I'd like to know where this person got their vapes from. Probably some trunk somewhere. After finding harmful chemicals, including disinfectant, petroleum, and fish euthanasia drugs inside electronic smoking devices. Lung Foundation Australia wants action on the sale of vapes, also known as e-cigarettes, which are largely unregulated, but with colorful packaging and fruity flavors, mostly aimed at young people. Research by Curtin University and partly funded by the foundation found all of more than 50 vapes bought over the counter contained chemicals with unknown effects on respiratory health. Household disinfectant, petroleum, cosmetics, paint, and somebody educate me on this one, and even eugenol. Google that. Eugenol, 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 which is, here they explain it, which is used to euthanize fish, were found inside the vaping liquid, as well as nicotine, which they're not supposed to contain. Excuse me, what? Hold on. Wait. Rewind that. So there's over-the-counter vapes in Australia that are not supposed to, they have kind of a nic ban, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have to add their own nicotine. So anything that's sold over the counter, like a puff bar or a self-contained device, doesn't have nicotine in it.
I would think.
Okay, so they're claiming that they found nicotine in it. Daniel, I agree. Tom is almost one of those people.
Except I'm not going back to smoking. But I am rural, yes.
Yeah, and his closest vape shop is an hour away?
About that, yeah.
Right. So, it's going to suck. There's a lot of people. Well, so what's not included in my article was granular details. Is the FDA have any impact on how USPS is going to deal with this, since they really haven't published their final rule?
I don't know. I haven't heard nothing yet.
Well, somebody had mentioned that on, I think, one of the social media platforms, that tomorrow we could potentially find out whether or not the USPS will be still deciding to carry vape stuff. But I think that those are two separate entities. I don't think the FDA has anything to do with the USPS. I mean, unless because the omnibus was already passed. The legislation was already passed, effectively instituting the ban by USPS. It's just that USPS hasn't changed their rules or anything yet because they haven't published their final rule in the register.
Right.
To date. And they were supposed to have done that by April 26th, I believe it was.
I don't believe the FDA has any oversight on USPS.
No, that's what I'm saying, is I don't think the FDA has any control over what happened. They're their own federal entity, or their federal.
With this current administration, who the hell knows? All the rules are made up anyways. They do whatever the hell they want.
Well, right. But
hello, Nick.
Nick in the house, win the day. Well, you know who that is when you hear win the day. That's definitely Nick Orlando. Yeah, Nick, we lost John. Did John message us? I don't know. I heard my inbox. My inbox. What did he say the problem was?
Son of a bitch! I got cut off again. Fucking Comcast. Still waiting.
All right, so that means they're running a test on his line again. Maybe we need to move the show to Thursdays so he won't get kicked off the show. But I just thought that was a funny article.
And like Daniel was saying, the Braves are playing, AEW is on, and we're on. So it's
a trifecta.
It is.
Of Daniel, goodness. Yep.
DVR, man. DVR.
Yep. You got all of the subject matter that you could potentially want tonight between vaping and advocacy. Question: what did vapors do before 50 milligram? They didn't have 50 milligram. No, because Nick salts were not really a thing. So, Victor, to be quite honest, when Tom, I don't know, Tom, were you around when we were kind of back at that point where we were high milligram freebase? Were you kind of vaping at that point? Okay.
No, I started in at 6.
So, hey, what's up, Nick? It's always awesome to see you on the show. We did invite you on, but we don't have any powers. We're basically, we can't even be Wonder Twins tonight.
We're just a couple of talking fellers.
Yeah. Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of show host.
Now, I'd have flipped out if John would have joined right there.
That would have been kind of cool. No, Victor, back in the day when I first started vaping, we didn't have Nick salts. Those weren't even a thing yet. We had all freebase. And it was probably even still pre some of the. Hey Brian, what's up, bro? How'd you get on the show like that? Oh, John's
That
back.
guy.
Shit,
Apparently I did
John.
a thing.
We got to stop talking about him, Tom.
I apologize, guys. I'm on the phone with Comcast right now, trying to figure it out. But yeah, I apologize to everybody watching, you guys, for what happened.
They had fun with us. They had fun with us.
I know, but like I told the person on Comcast.
Yeah. Well, all we had was one low key troll who decided he wanted to come in and get mad at us. Anyway, back to Victor's question.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, when John and I got started, and I'm sure Brian was there too for a period of time, but when we first started vaping, we didn't have the high milligram Nic salts. Nic salts wasn't around, but the devices were more MTL driven, so they were, very restricted airflows. Other than some of the early RDAs that I actually started messing around with, but we were on like 36 and 24 milligram freebase. I think the blue kit, when I got that, I think that was somewhere in the neighborhood of a cigarette. I think they had that at 24 milligrams per milliliter in those little carts. So they tried to make it relevant to a cigarette in terms of the nicotine. So we were in that. We were doing 36 and 24 for the most part. And then as the devices got better and better and better, and you were moving more towards a DTL type vape with the smaller tanks, the coils were getting better. The airflow was being opened up even more. You could vape at higher wattages. It wasn't all ego pens, ego twists and shit like that. And in the end, we eventually had to start stepping down because we just couldn't handle free-base nicotine vapes at 24 and 36 on these far more powerful devices. It would just basically give you a head rush. Well, so that's kind of what we did. Go
right.
ahead.
So that's what I did. I started on 24. Nautilus Mini is the ones I had. I had all the glass and all the bells and whistles for them. And then I slowly progressed down to 12, and then from 12 I went down to 6. But that's when I started my direct lung stuff, is around 6, and then went down to 3. So for me, I found that there's better flavor with the 3 than there was with the 6. I didn't get that throat hit. Things actually, for me, like, it tasted better. Actually, like with the flavor. And so when I actually worked with customers in my shops and so like that, what I would talk to them about is focus on the flavor, but not about the buzz, not about the nicotine. Focus on how it tastes and how you like it, and so that, and that right there has actually helped people kind of really step down, because people have this like need to, like, I need Nick, like they're freaking out. I'm like, it's not because of you that's doing it. It's because right now it's the hand motion is what it is. And from there, like, in order to for me, it was more of, okay, so I can keep that action but actually slow down my Nick, and then just use the action here and there, and then that's what helped me. So I don't know if some people can relate to that or not or whatnot, but to me it's
well, I think it was just relative for me. I think the way I was describing, and I apologize, Victor, I thought the question was aimed at because you were unaware of what was there, so I apologize if you already knew all that stuff.
So to interrupt here a second, Brian, what are you vaping on? Flavors and devices.
I have a few things here. So basically right now I'm actually using.
All right, yeah, we don't care what Brian is using. Let's get back to the show.
No, I answered a question.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Go back and fucking play with your phone.
He's just mad because he had to yell at Comcast.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Brian's chatting.
Sorry, I was actually replying to somebody who actually wants to hear what I want to say. So
okay. Go. To yourself? To yourself?
No. So I put a picture up, and I don't know. Like, so right now I'm actually using Crusaders. It's called Pebbled. Is basically what I'm using right now, but I'm using this for a particular reason. So each like serial vape has like their own uniqueness to it. Some are a little bit more lemony than others and whatnot, and that's kind of how I gauge stuff. That's actually what I use a lot. But anyways, what I did was I ended up buying a few things, and I don't know if John can kind of push the whole like share my screen button. That'd be kind of nice.
There it is.
So I got a few things.
Ooh.
Yeah, so much of it's accessory stuff, but there's two things in here in particular. The dot mod. So this is all from dot mod in case people who don't know. So this is their AO. And this is one of the limited ones, the teal green see-through ones. But the other one I was kind of excited about was the dot stick. So this comes in different colors, but it's a 18350 or 18650 mod. So basically, you can switch out the batteries. Now that's kind of neat for stealth vaping and stuff. It does come with a multi-lung tip and a regular like direct lung, like more open tip. But so far it's actually kind of cool. It does actually. So the very top part, I'm just going to show you here. The very top part does come off. So it is a 510 connection on that. So you can actually use this. That's kind of why I was excited about it. So you can actually use this with different RDAs if you want to or whatnot, and bring it around with you.
Right on.
It is a micro USB charge port, kind of a bummer type thing. But how to fill it? It's got a little cool little. I'm gonna see if I can show you this cool little notch, like right there.
Okay.
And basically, you can do the same thing as what you were doing, Tim. Is take the whole tank off and actually fill it from the bottom here, the little punch hole. You push your bottle in, push everything in. The whole base stays on there with the airflow and stuff. So that's kind of neat. It is only 2 mil, but it's kind of a neat little device. I've been kind of wanting to get my hands on one for a while. I do have like I said, this one's in the 18350 style, but so that's kind of what I've been playing with. I do have 25 milligram of that one, little 10 watt. And then I haven't really built that guy yet, but I did get some extra doors. I've been wanting to get that one because I've been jealous of John for those doors. So I did get those doors. And the cool thing about the dot stick, what does that coil remind you of?
God, if I know.
The Nord coils.
Oh, a little
Nord
bit, yeah.
coils will actually fit inside inside this device.
So how does it work, right? So break it down, because I think the whole thing that everybody kind of rants and raves about with the billet box is the what do you call them, Tom?
The burrows and bridges.
Thank you. So everybody rants about the bridges in the billet box for being able to use all those adaptable coil styles. Same with the Abyss, because the Abyss has basically 5. So is this the dot mod would kind of work the same?
So yes and no. So here's I'll kind of give you more of an insider. You can kind of see that. So it does have its own little burrow, just kind of like the dot. So the billet. See, really similar.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this one can only take its own dot coils, but it can take the Nautilus coils also with the adapter.
I thought you said Nord.
No, okay. Nord dot stick.
Dot stick.
Oh.
Nautilus. The
Nautilus. AIO. Okay. However, you can buy a little rebuildable little section for it, which actually looks like this.
Yep. That's a rebuildable.
Right.
And how
And
does
I
it
actually got
compare
2 of these.
with price to billet box?
A lot
cheaper. A lot cheaper. So there's going to be 2 versions of the AIO, and I'm going to show them actually in the next picture. To be honest, there's the first one. So this is going to be the AIO SE.
That's the SE, the chrome.
So I changed the doors and changed the drip tip on it. The SE is by far cheaper. Was it run around what 50? Was it $50, 50, $60, something like that? And then like the regular ones around $80 to $100, kind of give or take, right, John? I think.
Yeah.
That's right. The price ranges. So by far a lot cheaper. Now a billet box, you're looking at like $300-400.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
If you
these
are awake in time to buy them when they go on sale.
Yep, exactly. So the one in the background, the gold one, is actually the regular, say the limited edition one. The one in front, I got the same type of doors to put on the SE because I want to know how it look. So I mean, they look kind of really similar, but I do have black ones. But that's how tall the dot stick is compared to those AIO.
So they're small.
With the 18350 inside it, yeah.
But their AIOs are 18650s, right?
What battery size are the AIOs?
Yes, 18650s, and they are USB-C charging. Okay. Versus the dot stick is USB micro USB. And there's not a huge wattage adjustment on it. You just click the button 3 times, and it's got 3 different wattage settings. That's kind of what I decided to start playing around with and see how I like all those guys. I mean, I've had an .AO before. I've got a couple of them actually. So I mean, I like them, to be honest. So to me, it's super easy to bring around. I can charge it real quick with USB-C. It's to me, it's a really good, cheap little banger that you can bring around with. So I mean, I like
anything by Dot Mod.
It's so originally what Dot Mod was going to be like, more like the higher end ish company, but like not the high end. Like picture you have 2 different like high end, and then you have like the beginner's high end, and that's what kind of like Dot Mod was to me. It was like if you own Dot Mods, like you were like now quote unquote fancy, But I mean, they've got some really cool things. I mean, their packaging.
Daniel has a question.
Pretty ridiculous. So it depends on the quality that you put in there. There is a bypass mode in actually the dot stick. And then it depends on the coil. So one is like 10, 11, 10, 12, and 14 for like the lower wattage one. And then like the higher ones up to 24 watts. And then on those ones, I think they go up to 50 or 60 watts, I think it is, John.
Yeah.
I think it's like the highest, something like that. And then
John's
I was jealous of those doors, so I had to get some. So I really wanted some of those doors. Here's the neat little thing: is when you get their little drip tips, they come in this little like bubble little package thing, and it looks like it's like completely like vacuum sealed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. It's like you can actually pop it open, and then the drip tip is actually right inside it, compressed by two little pieces of plastic.
Okay.
And it's just press fit inside there. It's kind of neat. And when you shut it, it pops it right in place and looks like it's vacuum sealed. Their packaging is actually really cool and neat, and I really dig like how their presentation is. I do have some of their juice. I've tried a little bit here and there, but I can't really speak on those yet. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing right now. Is
John's blurry barista brew,
and try them out and see. So, I mean, if you haven't tried the .AO, I mean, it's the AOSE. You can get that for a pretty good price.
Answer Chris's question, Brian.
Without having to spend a whole lot of money.
Hold up your juice, Brian, or silence.
I thought I did that at the beginning.
We got
make Chris happy by showing. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
That's kind of what I've been doing. I'm going to keep pissing around with it, but I mean, my reviews on AOs are just fantastic. I like them,
So, John, I have a question for you.
Knock yourself out.
Are we actually going to start this fucking show now that we're almost an hour in?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Actually, they figured it out. It is my 7-year-old modem that needs to be replaced, modem router. Which I had no idea they had a new one. So, but again, they should have known that. So they should have said, "Hey, John, your router is 7 years old, and we have a brand new one that's been out for a long time, and we'll send you a new one." So they're actually sending me a new one now. So
they don't care. I went through that last week, and they gave 0 fucks.
Oh yeah, I've
You
had the
have to
same
call them
one.
and be like, "Hey, my shit's old. Fix
Yeah.
it."
Yeah, she was like, "Oh shit, that router's from 2013." I was like, yeah, so so now they're sending me a new router and what is it, router modem combination thingy. So I should have one by next week, so should be fine.
So you've
That
had the
was the
same
only
one for 7 years?
Yep.
I replace mine like roughly every 3 to 4 max.
Have never had it. Just started doing this
Yeah.
this year. It's just started kicking out, and she's like, "We're not doing any service, so we don't understand why your router's not working right now." So I was like, "Well, it's not working."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't rent mine. I buy mine.
Yeah, no, I use theirs because it's tied into the phone,
Yep.
the TV, and the
Yep.
internet. So I
Yep.
have.
Well,
and the
but I don't
security.
use their wireless though. I bypass that and use the
Yeah.
Netgear Nighthawk.
Yeah, and it's connected to
R1000.
my security too. So it's all in one. So I can't
So-
not use their thing. So
So, Chris, is that how you're getting your e-liquid? You sneak it in through Pennsylvania? That you
Yeah, baby.
have your sister ship it into you?
yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just wondering how people survive in a lot of those cases because,
Yeah.
like, even the services that that are out there can't, like, even online, you can't get it shipped into you. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's all kinds of backdoor ways of getting it done. I just was wondering flat out how he was getting his e-liquid.
All right, like I said, next week's show, just a heads up. I don't know if anybody was on to hear it, but next week's show will be on Thursday, not Wednesday, Thursday. And we have a guest coming on, a special guest. So Thursday, I will let everybody know that's happening throughout the rest of this week and next week. So don't forget, no Wednesday show, but we will have a show on Thursday. Also, let's get this started. Let's start with the first question I have for you guys. And again, this is our opinions, guys. So don't shit on Tim, don't shit on Tom, don't shit on Brian, don't shit on me for our picks.
Yes, Daniel.
These are just what we consider to be the best of the best. So, our opinion. Let's start out with the best straight strawberry e-liquid. Who wants to jump on it first?
Mucho
You guys
strawberry.
out there too, let us know what you consider to be the best straight strawberry that is out there. Tim looks excited. Do you? I know Tim. The
No, because
strawberry.
you already know what I'm going to say.
Straight strawberry? Like no other
Straight.
like strawberry?
Oh, straight. So it can't
Straight.
be anything other than strawberry.
Right. It's got to be.
Oh,
the straight.
that's dumb. I hate this.
No,
question.
no, no layered blend.
All right, let's go strawberry and one added. So like strawberry milkshake or strawberry banana, something
Okay.
like that. Go ahead. I'll let you go.
I'm
I'll let
down.
you. Go ahead. You want to
Go,
first?
Brian.
Sure. I'm gonna be biased, but however, I do really like it. I do like my little strawberry donut
Lazy llama.
from you can get it at 503 e-liquids.
If they ship to you.
They do ship to you usually.
God, I don't know when the last time that I ever had a straight strawberry. Just strawberry.
Strawberry.
I mean, because you already know what I would say, but mine has 3 other things in it.
Well, which one is it for you?
Jam Monster strawberry.
Jam Monster. Jam Monster's going to be up there, I think.
I mean, it is just labeled strawberry,
yeah, it is just strawberry. So basically, it is a strawberry.
other than the butter and the toast.
right, the butter, the toast.
Yeah, all that other shit that's in it. Yeah, that would be my favorite.
I think that one's going to be at the top of the list. I wanted to go old school with my strawberry milkshake, man. That was, to me, in the beginning, that was the best strawberry vape out there that to me didn't taste artificial. I don't know if you guys have used Milkman before. Have you guys? I know Brian has.
I feel like I had some in my box at one point along the way. I think probably had some of that drop in because I did. I think I had moon pie or some horrible thing that they had out. It was in a little milk carton or whatever.
Yeah, it was in their milk. Yeah, that was one of the flavors I think they came out with later on down the line that they were trying to save the company. But I think wasn't that one of the late ones. They started getting real kind of goofy. They went with like, oh God, what was that one? Oh man, I forget the name of it. They had some goofy ones that had like Neapolitan flavors, ice creams.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've had plenty along the way. I want to say that they were probably like, okay, I think the one that was a knock out of the friggin' park. If you want to, this would have been my number 2, but they've disappeared, and so they don't qualify anymore because you can't get it anymore. Was tie dye.
Tie dye.
It was strawberry peach.
Yeah.
And it was, you got a full face full of both flavors in that.
Yeah, yeah. The other one I would have to think was God damn it, what was the name of it? Wild Strawberry by Kilo.
Never had it.
Yeah, that is really, really good. And it wasn't cheap, but it was really, really good.
VGod had a phenomenal strawberry. It was like 3 different strawberry concentrates mixed into one. Oh my God, it was delicious.
Yeah. What is everybody else saying out there? Rip had a good one too. I don't know if you're talking about that one, Daniel. Was Rip Tripper's line had a very good strawberry one too. I can't remember the name of it though, for the life of me.
No, I actually think you were saying Meteor Milk RIP as in
Oh
recipes.
yeah. No, I know what he that one is. That one from is he? Oh, okay, never mind. No, I was thinking.
That's Rest in Peace, not Rip Trippers.
No. But I was thinking he was the. What was the company with the green bottles, Brian?
Jam Monster?
Jam Monster.
Space Jam had the green bottles.
Space Jam, yeah.
Space Jam.
That's right. Space Jam. Duh. Yeah. Look, I'm so fixated
there's
on
actually
Jam
a few
Monster.
others that actually had green bottles though too. So not very prominent as Space Jam though.
Yeah,
I get it, Daniel. I fucked up.
Space Jam.
That's it, Tim. Go to the corner.
Excellent. I'll see you guys later. I'll be back in 2.
Okay, guys. Tom, I know your feelings on this one, but your top mango.
Don't have one.
I know you don't. Go ahead.
Hands down, the VGod Mango Bomb Ice. Good God, that stuff is friggin' addictive as hell. And it's a Nick salt, so it's not, they don't have it in a freebase that I'm aware of. You can only get it in 60 ml bottles, and it's really hard to find anymore. I know where I can get it, not out of the back of a car, but I'd have to get it from overseas. So I still can get it. It's just going to take a little while to get here. That's all.
The back of a car. Hey, you got any mango?
There's a bunch of other ones out there that are actually really good in a freebase level. Like, I mean, I think I had this one called Mango Freeze, which was really, really, really good. I can't remember what company it was from. I got it in a 100 ml bottle. I vaped that stuff until I was mangoed blue in the face. But that was really good. But VGod Mango Bomb Ice, without a doubt.
What's her name that we had on the show? That mango was banging.
From Mucho?
Yeah, that is and the ice one is even off the charts. I love that ice mango that they have. Is that Mandy or Mindy? Mindy. Yeah, that ice mango is just bomb. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I think Reds has a mango too, but I have never tried it.
Yeah, Sneeze, Fruit Monster, Coastal Clouds has a really good ice mango too.
That's it.
Yeah.
Market Freeze Mango Freeze. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, Daniel.
See, my all-time favorite mango would be Nectar.
That's good too.
This is one of my favorites ever of mango, and it wasn't like so mango's weird. So you when people think mangoes, they always think like orange for some odd reason, and it's more of like a tangy, like bitter type of an orange. It's weird, but that one was more smooth. And the one thing about Nectar is that was actually one of the first lines that actually used synthetics, TFN nicotine in it, and you could actually go 240 mils on a dripper without like. At that time, that was finally getting to the point where it was actually starting to clog your coils. There's like hardly any sweetener in it or anything else like that. Like it was actually a coil laster juice. It was pretty awesome.
Tom, you don't have a mango you like? None that you ever tasted? Do you like mangoes, like in fresh mangoes? I mean, right, you don't even, have you even eaten one? You have eaten one.
Don't like them.
You just don't like them.
Yeah, some people say that the flavor to them is kind of like a sweaty sock.
God damn.
That, I mean, I don't know where people get that from. I mean, I do recall that there's been a few mangoes that were a little bit more on like the kind of like the not so sweet side, and I think that those are the ones that people end up probably getting first, and then that kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth. But if you get like the sweet ones that are a little bit more, I don't want to say candied, but you know, a little bit more sweet, got a little bit more of a soury kind of. You know how sometimes you'll buy a peach and they're like flavorless and they just kind of really don't have a lot of oomph to it, and then sometimes you'll just buy one that's just awesome and it's kind of like got a little bit of a sour bite to it. You get that difference in mango.
I live in California. We don't have bad peaches here, so all our peaches are sweet.
Well, my next door neighbor brought me some because I mow his grass, and so they feel obligated to pay me off in food, I guess.
In fruit.
he brought about 6 huge peaches over, and I ate one last night, and it was still a little unripe. It was still kind of. And so, it had like no natural sugar fight to it.
So here's my thing with you there, Timmy. Is there a certain fruit other than that matches well with mango for you? I have one that just, for me, the two together, just the bomb. Not ice, no ice or no menthol. I'm just talking, and I knew where you were going. I saw your brain rolling, but. Is there any other line that's out there that has mango part of it? So mango, watermelon, mango, cantaloupe.
One of the humble blends is like a mango melon kind of blend thing going on, and I thought that was a nice contrast.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a big. Yeah, that like in the tropical ones. Now, I don't think I've ever had a mango pineapple specifically. Maybe a tropical that had a little bit of everything in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I had Humble had like a mango melon kind of blend going on, and I'm not a big melon fan by any stretch, just because that shit hangs around in your coils and you can never get rid of it. So I like that.
Yeah. How about you, Brian? Tom's out of this conversation.
For mango?
Mango hater. Not you, Tom.
Tom don't like no mango.
My top shelf mango? I already went through that.
No, but...
Thank you, Daniel.
What other line do you like mixed with it? What other flavor? Which one works well together for you? What other flavor works well for you other than...
That's a good question, because mango is a very prominent flavor. It sticks out very much. So, I mean, and strawberries are a very mild one. I mean, I haven't had really apple. Like, I do think pineapple does pair well with it, but you do need to do like a double like pineapple in there versus like one mango type thing to get that extra little bit like bite out of it. To me, I actually like that. Like those tropical flavors together, but I mean that's me. I've always liked pineapple stuff though too. So
yeah, pineapple, mango, and guava too. Guava, those three together is just.
I never got into guava. Like I've never gotten into guava really. Like I feel like guava really like blaws things down to me.
Yeah,
I don't know. Weird.
Try the mandarin guava.
Yeah, that's good.
From Jam Monster. I think it's their Ice Monster. Mandarin guava. It's mango, tangerine, and guava. Try that.
Brian, have you had a guava cider yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, God, it's so fucking good. I wish I could send you some. Dude. I am so hooked on that guava. It was when they made it for the first time, because this place that I get all my ciders from, they make all their stuff right there in the house, and they only make certain flavors for like a week period of time. When it runs out, they go to something else. And I've been waiting for guava to come back, and I've been begging the owner, please bring guava back, because it was just so delicious. Yeah, I like those three together. So peach, the mango, and guava together is just amazing.
See, like guava and dragon fruit are the two flavors to me that like they're mild. They're like super like not. They're kind of like blah, like just mellow. And so it's hard for me. Like I when I vape stuff, like I actually like want to enjoy it. Like if it's kind of flat, it's hard for me to, enjoy it really. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Yeah. No, it does. So Tom, nothing, huh? You don't have you one that you just
fuck mango?
Fuck, man, I'm gonna send you a bunch of mango. I'm gonna talk to I'm going to tell to fill your next sample box with just mango.
I don't get ZampleBox anymore.
Oh
You can
man,
just send it to me.
I'll send it to yeah. Send me
Yeah, just
and
send it to you,
Tim.
Tim.
Me and Tim 2 extra boxes of just mango ice, mango mucho mango, and mango
No
blast.
ice.
There was one they had for a little while that was spelled MNGO.
Yeah, yeah.
Mango.
Yeah. All right, tropical fruit. Your favorite tropical fruit?
Shoot, I can't think of the name of it. Give me a minute. Hold on.
Co-
I already know.
Coastal clouds for me. That thing was just the bomb for me.
Wet ferret. What kind of vape juice is that? That just doesn't sound appealing to me at all. Oh, criminy. Who makes that?
How about you, Tommy boy?
Come back to me. I'll get it for you.
Yeah. Tropical fruit. Oh, yeah.
Peach and raspberries is good, but those aren't tropical.
Yeah. Got to be tropical.
I
know you live in Wisconsin. You have no idea what the tropics look like or what tropical means, but yeah.
They'd be like pineapple.
Yeah, pineapples. There's going to be passion fruits.
God, what is that friggin' shit called? I have to. Oh wait. I think
I had a really good pineapple upside down cake one.
Oh yeah. I guess that would because you got the cake in there.
Right.
Yeah, you got the cake
But
in there.
straight tropical, I can't think of one that's really stood out.
I don't like anything with coconut in it. I
Coke.
just
You
can't.
don't.
I cannot
you
do coconut vapes. Just ugh.
caramel.
Hold on. I probably have to go back a few.
No,
boxes,
Victor.
so.
No, Victor. That should not happen. Should not be a thing.
Oh, I probably have to go all the way back to my 12 bottle boxes to figure this out.
Yeah.
Tropicali, whatever that one.
Tropicali is really
from Cali
good.
Steam.
Cali
that was
Steam.
some bomb ass stuff
Yeah,
right there.
that was
Tropicali.
really good.
That's the one.
I actually have a bottle of that, and I don't want to open it because I will dust it.
But let's detail all what's in Tropicali.
There's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's basically a cornucopia of tropical fruits. And it's funny because John's last name is Truncali.
That's right.
John Tropicali.
Tropicali.
I don't know if I can find it anymore. Was it really unique to our boxes?
It was a signature line. I know that. It was a signature line. I did photos for them for ZampleBox. They sent them to me a while ago, and I still have those 2 bottles of that stuff, and I really want to open one of them up. But
I forgot. Who did I say made it?
Cali Steam.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I have one. It just hit me.
Speak.
Cali Vapors, Devil's Punch Bowl.
Ooh, that was Devil's Punch Bowl.
That was guava and peach.
All right, here you go. I got the flavor
Island
profile.
Mango. Yeah, Island Mango is good. Go ahead.
The full blown Tropicali from Cali Stream was a blend of pomegranate, mango, kiwi, fruit, and tropical fruit. Which, if you look at the picture, that would include pineapple.
Apple.
And I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. That could very well be some kind of a nectarine or a peach of some kind.
It could be. I don't know what they.
It's really good though. Whatever I said, it's really good.
Would orange be considered tropical? Yeah, right. They could.
I can't absinthe. I can't do absinthe. I can't do any of that stuff. Just
Island
can't
Man.
do that.
One Hit Wonders Island Man. That was good too.
Courage. I feel like I remember it. Courage 11. I don't know if I remember that. I don't know. I was a dessert person. Switched fruit.
Dessert's next. I know it's going to be a tough one for you, Tim.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, you got one.
Yeah, I got one.
All right.
No, that's going to be a tough one for me.
I would say coffee, but that's not a fair fight with this group.
No, well, because that one's a foregone conclusion. I already know my winner in the coffee ranks.
Yeah,
I think we all have the same one on that one.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of goes to Goes to John's buddies.
Yeah, barista.
Yeah, Barista's got the best coffee vapes.
So Timmy,
we're doing dessert. Yeah.
Yeah, your best
Would it
dessert.
be that one, Tim?
Yeah, it would be that one. I got that sitting on my desk too, Tom.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the caramel macchiato.
Yo.
That stuff is the best coffee vape ever known to man. No, for a bakery, no question, hands down, winner chicken dinner. is Grandmaster by 5 Ponds.
That is damn good stuff.
That is just amazingness in a bottle right there. It's basically banana Bavarian cream. It's peanut butter. It's peanut butter and Bavarian cream and banana, I believe, are the 3 blends in there. It is so good. Yeah. And it was the worst juice to get addicted to, for one, because at the time I started on that shit, it was $30 for it was like $28 for a 30 ml bottle.
Yep.
It was like vaping gold. Anyhow, that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. Brian, dessert me up. That's good too. That lemon.
So how many can I have here?
I don't care, as many as you want.
Because dessert's my jam right now.
Okay, if you got 3 that you want to name off, I want number 1, number 2, and number 3, or in that order. But one's got to be number 1. You can't have all of them be number 1. I'm going to make it harder on you. All right.
Sure. So one of my favorites, like I actually like to eat, and like to vape a lot. So it's actually really good. It's called Peach Cake Donut. It's still gonna be one of my favorites.
Peach Cake Donut.
It's super mellow. It's really good. Yeah. The other one is actually Poke Cake. So
that's a good one.
I'm kind of biased in these, but these are actually ones I actually use all the time. Yeah. And that's like my top 2 right there. I'm trying to like go outside the realm here, just a wee tad for like another like good bakery. And the other one would be, it's actually by it was a place called Dark Horse Vapory, and it's not around anymore. But it was actually their it's actually on top of I know the flavor is it's like a desserty, like sweet kind of it's like a mango. It kind of tastes like a mango like a shake type deal, but it wasn't labeled that. It was actually labeled as like more of a desserty. Let me actually find that here real quick for you. You guys talk while I find it real quick. It won't take very long.
While you're looking, here's my 3.
Go ahead, Tommy boy.
My top that I cannot get anymore is a buddy of mine used to make a pecan pie. It was spot on, just fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Batman's pineapple upside down cake is I could vape that all day, every day. Yeah. And number 3 is Dinner Lady lemon tart.
Yeah, that's good. That Dinner Lady the lemon pie one. That thing is.
And my number 4 is
Hey!
You said as many as I can. I got 4, bitch. Number 4 is from Yummy Vapes, and it's their Portuguese egg tart. I don't remember the actual name of it anymore.
That one's a weird one, yeah.
But that was so good.
I have not tried the Johnny's juice yet.
Hey, John, you want to try some of Johnny's juice?
No, I want to try Johnny's juice.
I just feel like it's a fine line. When I hear people talk about it, they either can't stand it or they love it.
Yeah.
So the one I was talking about is called Athena's Nectar.
That's a dessert?
Well, to me it's a dessert because that's usually when people usually have it. But it was a banana, orange, peach, Greek yogurt.
Okie dokie.
It was actually really good.
Mallory, just send me a 30 of your pecan pie. I'll try it.
Yeah, pecan was a big hit there a couple years ago, man. And but was the funny part of it was it didn't really take off with the big name brands. The big name brands kind of stayed away from the pecan pie, which I don't understand why. But the smaller, I don't know what you want to call them, the smaller vendors went nuts. They went nuts. There was pecan pie everywhere I looked. But it's funny though, because most of the time the big brands jump on board, and next thing you know, you got pecan pie all over the place. That was with pancakes. Remember the smaller companies. Smaller companies came out with a pancake, and then all of a sudden, all the big boys started like, "We could do pancakes too. Watch us!" And
there was one eons ago that I liked. There was
that never really happened with pecan pie.
Yeah, pecan pie, which is weird. I don't know. I think it
good.
Might. Well, Daniel, is it you mix? You're a DIY guy. Is it something hard to make a good pecan pie? I mean, because you need to have the taste of the pecan, but people that I know that love it, and I wonder if you do too. A lot of them said they could taste the crust, and it was important to have that crust taste in there, not just the pecan. So I'm wondering, maybe Daniel can. Is that something that's really hard to do? Because I know a lot of companies.
Mallory's the one that made it.
A lot of companies have a hard time with crust flavors. You're either going to get this overbearing granola flavor that they try to say is crust, or you're getting some sort of burnt taste. I don't know. Do you guys get that with stuff that's listed with the word crust? Bacon crust?
No. I mean, I think that happens a lot with apple pie vapes because they like to give you that graham cracker crust kind of thing going on, or at least that breaded kind of crust that you would use in an apple pie. I haven't had that issue as much. No, I don't get that burnt kind of kickback. But Daniel, you're right. When you name the barista brew, it's raspberry Danish, and blueberry scone. Those are both really good.
Oh,
too.
That blueberry cinnamon scone. Oh, yeah. I could dust a bottle of that.
Yeah,
not even trying.
Yeah, the raspberry cream cheese Danish is what I just can't stop.
Good too.
That's crack in a bottle, basically. For me, it was anything with cookie butter in it. I don't care what the rest of the stuff is. I just love that butter flavor, and it just drives me absolutely nuts. Yep. And the one that I had from the guys from Loaded, that cookie butter by Loaded, that was so freaking good. It sucks that I can't get it anymore. I have to go to an actual store to purchase it now, but that was good. And a couple of you guys, old timers, remember Liquid State. But that apple butter from Liquid State,
that was really good.
So fucking good.
Yeah, and the other one that I thought was really good was the it was like a blackberry cobbler from D Squared.
D Square.
Yeah, they had some really good dessert flavors. I mean, I hung on for as long as I could with the dessert thing, but it just eventually just became a little too one-dimensional. I was going to ask, does anybody remember Gorilla Guts from Ruckus? That was a really good one. That was a banana caramel. That was really good.
I would like that, Phil. That sounds delicious.
And I gunked up your coils like a champ, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually bought this one, John.
Tom has something to say. Go. Yeah, that's so fucking good, man.
I bought this from E-Juice Steeples.
Oh, is it on their thing?
Yeah. I'll check to see if it's still there.
Yeah. Actually, let me see if it's on E-Juice. It's on the other site that I buy stuff from, Vapor Society Supply.
I've never even heard of that.
Yep,
I have.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're good. They're good. They're fast, and I never had any issues. They do, baby, right there. $13.99 for a 120 ml bottle.
All right. Let me find it over here.
Cookie butter by Loaded E-Liquids, 120 ml. So yeah, they got it for $14 for 120
that stuff is good.
Yeah, that is booming stuff, man. I will be ordering it.
I'll tell you one more.
Here's something. Go ahead, Tim.
There's one more that was really good that kind of phased out for a while, but I think they brought it back. But I don't even know if this line is still alive anymore. But there was one. It was a oatmeal raisin cookie that was done by the beard. It was called Bearded Lady. Bearded Lady, I believe, was the name of the flavor. And it was just amazing. And it was the first time I'd ever had a raisin flavored vape. I didn't even know you could do raisin, and they nailed it. And then they dropped it, and then they finally, after a bunch of people wanted it back, they brought it back. But I don't even know if it's
what's the difference between a raisin and a grape? I guess there's a little bit of a different flavor to a raisin than there's to a grape. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was sitting here reading all these comments of people, and I'm looking at all this input. And it's a lot of input people are throwing out and all these flavors, and kind of what I want to do is I actually want them to email us all these flavors. I actually personally want to go through a lot of these myself and actually see what your review is, and I want to go through them on the show. That's what I want to do. Literally, that's
stats.
I think it'd be a fun time. Not gonna lie.
That's why Brian is this guy right here.
Nuclear reaction with the flux capacitor. Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. Fuck you, science.
Brian wants to make science his bitch. So send them.
And I want to go through these. I want to see who's all from all these manufacturers. I want to see what I can do to go through them and see what your input is, and I want to see if our input matches your input. Yeah, absolutely. That's I think it'd be fun.
All right, the last one, guys.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna start with Tom. Tom, your top shelf. You can have 1, 2, or 3. Donut.
Oh, you're a motherfucker. Oh.
Donut. Straight donut. It could be maple donut. It can be something like that. But sugar donut, just straight donut, bitch. I guess it could have jelly in it, because donuts do have jelly in them.
Hang on. I got to get the name of it right.
All right.
He's going to pick mine, watch.
Probably not.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Oh, I only have it in that little bit. Damn it.
Way to hold up the show, Tom.
Hey, I had to find it. You cannot find this juice anywhere anymore. Artist Liquid Black Edition.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's mine. That's mine, too.
Done. Second place would be Maple Bar Donut by Barista.
Yeah, that's really good, too. But that Artist Liquid, that is crack in a bottle.
I have...
Travis, bring it back, Travis.
I have that much of it left.
Oh.
And yes, it just needs to come back.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that, you kind of have quarter bottles of shit that you really, really, really love, and you stretch it out as far as it'll fucking go. Just because you can't get it anymore.
That's right.
That's why I have that much left in my nectar bottles, and I'll use it on dripper a little bit, and I'll put it back away again.
I think the one was really good, Daniel.
That's my special occasion liquid.
Oh, okay. You pat yourself on the back liquid?
Yeah.
Too funny. Donuts. Are we talking donuts?
We're talking donuts.
We're talking donuts.
Tim,
I like.
It's time to make the donuts, Tim.
Yeah, it's time to make the donuts. I liked that. I want to say I remember the name. If you want, I'll get up and go get it. I'll go get it.
Go get it. We'll swing over to Brian.
So I already did a couple. So I already did a couple donuts on here, but there's one donut that's missing on here, which is by Ruthless, the glazed donut. It's actually really pretty freaking good.
That is a pretty good one.
That was I used it and I'm like, this is actually pretty awesome.
That's crack in a bottle too.
Yeah,
you
I
ready?
think mine's gone.
No, you can't see.
Oh hell yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah, it's strawberry jelly donut.
I dusted that bottle. Literally dusted
stuff.
it.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, desserts are in moderation for me anymore. It's really hard because once you put it, in a tank or whatever, it's it's a stark difference from what you're used to vaping. So I quickly go back to just fruits or whatever.
Yeah, an old school one that's still not around, which was banging, when it was out was Grim Green's donut. That thing was delicious, and I can't for the life of
it's loaded, Victor.
who. Brian, you remember the name? Grim Green's line. Grim Green's donut.
Oh, that was so he had a couple of different lines. He had an amber juice, then there was
yeah,
an amber juice was like their big line, and then he had his Grim line, and that was
God, what was the name?
He had 3 flavors in there. Oh, that was that the oatmeal. That was that the oatmeal one.
Yeah,
Yep.
The oatmeal, the black currant, and something else. Yeah.
Yep, and people loved that. Like I wasn't a fan of it, but people loved that one.
Was the donut one?
I believe so.
I thought it had like a weird name to it. I just can't remember. I don't know if you could even. I'd have to go way back in my pictures in Instagram to find it. It's been that long. Donut pounder.
Donut pounder.
It's time to make the donuts, Tim.
Yeah.
Donut pounder was the name of it.
Donut pounder. Yeah. It was Grimm's. It was delicious. Yeah. And I think that's the first donut one that I had because I kind of stayed away from the fruit, the pastry stuff and desserts for a while there. And then I got a bottle of that stuff and I was just like, holy crap, I couldn't stop vaping that stuff. It was really good.
But he had his own too, which is like Normal View and some other ones too, that he had a secondary line.
That was Donut Pounder. It was the name of it. I remember.
Yeah, that's it.
In the black bottle. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really, really good stuff. Now, is there a specific one you'd like to throw out there, guys? Any flavors that, maybe no, and we don't want the nasty flavors, but is there any other juice that's out there that maybe you've tried that maybe someone else hasn't tried that you just love?
Us or them?
You guys. Yeah, you guys and them as well.
That I've tried that other people haven't. That's really
your favorite tobaccos.
No, tobacco. I can't even. I'm your mango, Tom. In this conversation,
I'm your mango. There's a couple tobaccos that I really enjoy. Naked has a really good one.
Is that their American Patriots?
Yeah, that one's got that really kind of, I'm going to say the words, nutty flavor to it, but it is really good. It's got a really good aftertaste. A lot of them just give me a really bad aftertaste.
Yeah.
But to me, Telios had some really good e-liquids out there that weren't super popular. And to me, like, I absolutely loved them. Like, Experiment 1 was one of my favorites. I use that one all the time. Then there's Experiment 2 that they came out with. They also had, there's another one that was called Black Sun that you can get from 503, it was a really good, like, malt to lung, like, anise type flavor, but it's actually really good. That's the only time I can use it. And then Telios had another one called Nightfall, which is another like really like black licorice type that was really good malt to lung type. These are like completely off the wall though. I never would have thought I would actually like them.
Yeah.
There was one too it was a popcorn one, and it was like a strawberry popcorn is what it was.
Yeah, remember the popcorn craze for a while?
Yeah, and like you tried it, and it was like it. When you took like your first vape off of it, it felt like you just completely burnt your coil. Like it just tasted just nasty, just bad. And then you vaped it again. It was just nothing but pure strawberry. It was the weirdest thing ever. And you never got that popcorn flavor ever again. It was so odd. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, Phil, I'm with you. There's only been one company that I really enjoyed the dragon fruit from, and they're no longer in business, but they were a company out of San Diego. And for the life of me, I can't remember their name, which is sad. But they had really cool boxes that looked like wood paneling, a fence. I can't remember the name of them, but I did pictures for them, and that stuff was just amazing. And unfortunately, they went out of business. All right, just a real quick. We'll do this one real quick. I'm going to stay out of it because I don't have a sub-ohm tank, but I know Tom, Tim, and Brian have been using sub-ohm tanks. So just give me one sub-ohm tank that, if Joe Blow walked up to you and said, Tom, I need a tank that's not going to leak. I can find the coils. I have no issues with it. Which one are you throwing out there?
Oh, you had to throw all them caveats in there.
Yeah, I know. I just because I know the battles that you're having here lately. So see, because I think I look at it this way: you're gonna recommend something to a newbie. You want to make sure it's going to work.
Right.
So,
And I'll break this down into two. I'll do MTL and Sub-ohm.
Yeah, perfect.
MTL, Nautilus, all day. Anything in that line will do you very well. And for regular Sub-ohm, I would have to say Falcon 2.
Okay. Mr. Brian Power, it's time to make the donuts.
So I had a few.
I know you have a lot of them.
So I'm just gonna say a few Sub-ohm tanks, as in more than one. One of my favorites,
give me number one though, your top pick. You can have three, but one's got to be the one that you're automatically going to insist this person go and buy.
So for me right now,
I love making it harder on them.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like I've actually become more of a lower wattage, like 40, 50 watts type person now.
Right.
Versus like 120, 200 watt type, what have you. So I've actually been digging the 0.6 ohm coils by Lost Vape, and you can put that in multiple different devices right now. Everything from their how did I actually just grab them here? Everything from like something like this,
yep,
to like their little boxes, which are like this.
Yep.
Everything, pretty much what they make, it all fits everything, and you can change everything around, change your devices around, and bring everything with you, and everything just works.
Yeah.
Higher wattage tank, like those Falcon tanks.
Yeah.
Those are just, to me, like with that mesh coil, 100 watts, they're great.
Now, is the Lost Vapes products, though, they're sub-ohm tanks, because this kind of helps. I forgot to add this, but also sub-ohm tanks that can use multiple different companies' coils would be nice. So if you can.
No, absolutely. So Lost Vape actually, you can actually get different types of coils with them. Like their 1.2 ohm coil, 1 ohm coil, 0.6, 0.3, 0.2. They have this wider range, but if you want to go versatility, Dotma's kind of got it with a lot of their stuff. You can use a lot of different coils, everything. Yeah, I mean, Nautilus, they're Smock now, they're almost everything. I mean, to me, that's kind of where I'm going now. I like versatility.
Timmy, what is Tim's go? I knew he was going to hold that up, but
I mean, I have had.
You've had a lot.
I've had the TFV tanks, like up until like I had the 8. I think I stopped at the 8. I never did do the 12 and the 16, just because I had heard they were juice guzzlers. Yeah. I probably didn't have the stock levels that I have now personally. I never did the Falcons or the what's the other one that was kind of popular that was out here not that long ago.
The UL.
Well, I had the Crown. I had the Crown 3. Yeah, I had the Crown 3. I had a menagerie of the smoke tanks, which the coils were just garbage on those, and it ruined the whole entire experience. I've had other ones along the way. I would say, and I think it's not the tank itself. I mean, it's the coil that you're putting in it, right? It's the factory-made coil that the company puts out. And it comes down to two things for me. Like, are you getting a decent vape and flavor off of that coil? And do the coils last a while? Now, in all unfairness, I would say in the latter period, I've been able to make factory-made coils go a lot further, only because I have so many other devices that I can switch off to or go to a pod for a while. So it tends to extend the life of the factory-made coil. But in the last, I mean, I've been vaping for 8-9 years now. I would say when this came along, I had never had the GTX coils before, and these are fantastic coils. Provided you're not using a juice that'll gunk them up really fast, these coils will run you a good long while. And I get a really good vape off of this Vaporesso Swag PX80. Never thought it, never imagined it in a million years. I just figured it'd be another one of those fuckers that you put
Throw
on the
away.
shelf.
Yeah,
Well, you
throw
just put it on the. I mean, you don't really throw it away. I mean, it's a single 18650 mod. I mean, you know, I mean it, but just hands down has been the best coils that I've probably used and the best vape for a sub-ohm setup.
Yeah, they are.
Done.
Yeah.
So people like, and so apparently, you know, Tim kind of brought this up a little bit about the smart coils, all sorts of variants, and you know all that. You know, 200-watt range. You know, they all want that power and everything like that. Here's one thing I've noticed is that when you have all those in a coil, you have all those little holes all the way spread around the coil, you know, like this. Is on the inside, it has a hard time wicking on the inside. Because it'll go around the little circle and it'll go 3/4 of the way around and it'll kind of stop because you're vaping way too much and all that stuff. And then you end up burning a coil out way too fast. And when I worked in shops, is that's one thing people didn't understand. And they kept just burning through coils.
Yeah.
But you have to really wick them and you can't like just outright just, you know, keep chain vape on them because of that factor. If you want to do that, then you get the wide open whole one and, you know, you have no problems then.
Yeah.
But that's just something people didn't understand. They thought the higher wattage equals more vapor equals more flavor. Well, not necessarily.
Yeah. Some people were actually sticking pin needles through those to open them up.
Yeah, I did that a few times.
Yeah.
But you know why I did that? I did that because I was getting vapor lock in the tank.
Yep.
And it would just, you start getting dry hits and shit, and the tank's totally full. And it's like, why is this happening? And so you just go and you poke a few holes in the cotton. And yeah, change the whole thing.
Yeah, there was. All right, it is that time, people.
1 second.
Oh, go ahead.
Before you jump to the news,
Okay.
I have an announcement.
Uh-oh. You're having a baby.
God, no. Ew.
Are you getting trapped in the lake again?
Ew.
As of September 1st, I have been vaping for 6 years.
Oh!
Congratulations, Tommy boy.
Let me find it. Here it is. Yeah, baby.
There it is. Look at those.
And now
puffs.
we can go to the news.
Yeah, mine's coming up too, Tom. 17th. Mine's the 17th.
Let me get ready.
All
Mine's
right.
in February.
God, no, I'm not moving to Minnesota. What the hell's wrong with you, Luke?
Fucking Tim is
No.
stretching
Luke,
out to do
okay,
the
Luke
news.
stretches.
So Luke, you can't move to Minnesota because there's more lakes there. If there's more lakes, he's going to get trapped in the center more often, and we can't have that.
There's actually more lakes here in Wisconsin than in Minnesota. They're both
Listen,
lakes.
you're not helping me
hey.
here whatsoever.
All right,
Now is not the time to argue about the number of lakes states contain. Okay,
yeah.
fucking go jump in Huron. All right. Shit. All right, so I can't do any. I don't have any vaudeville in me. You know.
Nice jazz hands, Tim.
Thank you. Well, it's not because I was trying to mix it up. I still want people in the chat. I think we had the guy from last week who actually followed through, but we're looking for submitted segue bumpers for the news section.
Yes.
And like I said, those who are savvy on a computer and know how to do some mixing and video, or you know, it has to have video in it. It can't just be audio. Right. It can't. I don't want. Personally, I don't want a static image that, you know, is just kind of, I think the show thing kind of flies in a little bit. But use your creativity on the computer and create 10-second bumper for the news section, however you want to do it. You know, it can be singing, it can be just musical with some graphical stuff going on, but something that 10 seconds that we won't get banned for. Or muted for infringing on copyright. So have some fun with it and submit them to the email address there, whatever you got.
Yeah, you can make sure what you do is just type in license-free music, guys, and then just kind of double check. Quick, let me do this, Tim. If you're not sure, if it says license-free, quick way to find out if you're going to get flagged is just for the shits and giggles, post it on your Facebook page. Post the music on your Facebook. If you get knocked out, then it's not free. So just a quick reminder, because we know what happens. So,
Right.
go ahead, Timmy.
Now watch, a lot of our people are going to get banned now because of this advice.
No,
it's a good
they're
way to-
not.
it's a
They
good
don't
way.
get banned. They get muted. The video gets muted in 150 countries or some
Yeah.
bullshit
Okay.
like that. You don't get a strike. They don't
Yeah, nah,
put
no
you in timeout and Facebook jail, whatever the fuck. I mean, now if you want to pose naked
Yeah,
while the
with-
music is playing, then you might have another issue on your hands.
Yeah.
Wear
But
sunglasses.
I'm
you'll be all
tapping, folks.
tapping.
I'm tapping because I'm scared. I'm actually a little nervous. I'm actually a little apprehensive about tomorrow. I think everyone who's anybody in the vape community knows a little bit about the PMTA process. You've heard us talk about it a lot. You know that it exists. You know that it's out there, and it's the process by which companies who are trying to keep their vapor products on the market are trying to get that pre-market tobacco authorization approval to be federally approved by the FDA. The biggest caveat to it all is that there is sort of kind of at the end of the process, despite all the other bullshit that you got to list and mention, is scientific studies that your vape products provide a net health benefit and can prove themselves to be a benefit to adults to get off of smoking, and that far outweighs the risk to youth usage or the lure of vaping to kids. So the FDA is kind of twisting it because I think they're kind of the MDOs that were issued to a lot of these companies, and I'll get to that list. I have that list handy. I think it was up to 55,000 different products that were submitted via PMTA by different companies, have all gotten MDO rejection letters, effectively kind of throwing them out. Those products are going to have to come off the market immediately or risk enforcement by the FDA. And it's a little unfortunate because they're using the youth usage epidemic, which is the word they love to use, as being the catalyst as to why those particular flavors or those blends should not remain on the market. They did not prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. So tomorrow is the big day. It'll be 1 year since all those companies were to have had their PMTAs submitted. They received over 6 million applications, or up to 6.5 million different products listed as trying to get PMTA approval. I think based on the article that we did about a week ago, I believe they've eliminated up to 4.5 million products. A lot of those products did not get issued MDOs. They were actually issued failure to either file properly. I think they were missing big elements of the PMTA filings that didn't really have a whole lot to do with the scientific portion of it. A lot of it had to do with the EPA regulations. So they were issued deficiency letters because they were asked to provide additional information with regard to those products, and those people did not follow through on those deficiency letters, and they basically got themselves like a de facto throwaway. So they're down to about 2 million products now, of which a portion of those are products that all of us are familiar with and big name people. And also blended in with that, you've got all the ones that we like to hate on quite often. So Juul's got their products in the mix. Vuse has their products in the mix. There's several other more influential tobacco-owned companies who may potentially be able to go a little bit further down the pipeline. But MDOs were issued last week, and I have that list, and we'll talk about it after this. But the primary article that we want to talk about is the one for tomorrow, where we're all going to be. It's going to be like the OJ trial. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. Let me bring it up right there.
Do people nowadays actually get that reference? Or is it just like us?
I don't know. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that are younger than us that probably would. I remember where I was on the day that the OJ verdict came down. I was working for the Virginia Electric. I was.
It was actually in our high school auditorium.
I was at work. I'm sorry about all these little pop-ups and crap that are happening. But this one is entitled "The Vaping Industry as We Know It May Soon Disappear." I think there's been evidence of that just by the sheer number of MDOs that were issued. I don't know if it's the sheer number of MDOs that were issued in general. I think it's just the total number of products that were attached to those MDOs. And we can talk a little bit more of that. I kind of felt like this one article. I only really have one article tonight, people, because I thought this one really kind of takes precedence. I think because it really is more about if we're going to see tomorrow how the FDA rules as to how or if companies are going to be allowed to keep particular products on the marketplace to some whatever extent that might be. As it stands right now, no one has been approved by the FDA. The only thing that exists up to this point is that people were accepted in terms of their PMTA submissions.
Right.
So there are ones that are still in play. There are ones that have been completely eliminated at this point. A lot of people expect to see more rejections and eliminations as we move forward in this process. But presiding over everything, we're going to find out whether or not any of those companies that are still in play are going to be able to keep their products on the market, or does the FDA rule in such a way that they can only keep certain types on the market? Will they get extension letters? A lot of gray area there. We don't know how the FDA is going to rule. They haven't really gleaned or said exactly or how they're leaning, other than the MDOs. The MDOs have kind of come back with that caveat sort of verbiage that the net benefit or the net health benefit to adults to get them to quit smoking using these products is not proving itself to outweigh the risk to the youth, which has basically been their kind of like battle cry. And it's a hard one to prove, right? Because when you got flavors like Tropicali and flavors like strawberry jelly donut, they're going to say that those are basically flavors that are appealing to kids. And it's going to be really hard to prove that that flavor is more beneficial to an adult to get him to quit smoking. Now, we know the truth. No arguing that. Yeah. But the FDA is just going to say, sorry, kids are going to like strawberry jelly donut. So not good news for you. So for the past 15 years, I didn't realize that that vaping sort of has been on the radar, visible enough to even consider it to be 15 years. That there's been a caveat attached to discussions around e-cigarettes in general, and that is that while millions of people may use them, the bottom line, the big cog in the wheel is that none of them are FDA approved. And if you hear certain people talk about it that are in government, they'll even go so far as to say that what we're actually using is considered illegal. Yeah. Because it's not FDA approved, because it doesn't have any sort of lawful standing, it's technically an illegal product that the FDA has allowed to stay on the market. But that's kind of what we're facing. This could change, and they say next week, but I guess this article was written previous to that. It's tomorrow, folks. Yep. Tomorrow is the big day, September 9th. Tomorrow, the FDA rules on how e-cigarette companies, including Juul, may keep selling their products in the U.S. The antis and public health groups who have lobbied for quite some time, urging the FDA to reject Juul's bid for agency authorization, citing popularity among the youth. This article really kind of doesn't really go too much into it, other than kind of regurgitate the same kind of stuff that we hear all the time about how Juul was really the catalyst for the takeoff, if you want, of youth usage. It was accessible product. It was sold in C-stores and gas stations. It was available enough that kids could get their hands on it. They want to cite that flavors were the primary kind of attractant for kids to go ahead and get these devices, and potentially some misinformation that they're 100% safe and all these other things. And so the kids are like, hey, looks appealing to me, but we were all kids once and we all experimented with different things. Pro-vaping advocates have lobbied on the premise that adults will go back to smoking if the FDA clears the market of flavored vapes. I have to believe there's a big piece of that that holds a lot of valid truth. Not to mention, even if they want to throw out the gateway argument about vaping and how kids who try vaping are more inclined to try smoking moving forward. I think that there's a vast difference in that. I don't know that a kid would go right to smoking, but if you decide to clear the market, if you're going to instill some kind of a flavor ban, that does mean that the smoking rates in kids will increase just as much as they'll increase with adults who are trying to quit using vaping, because they won't know how to fight and find the stuff that they need. They're just going to get cut off cold turkey, and their only option will be to probably migrate back to smoking, because it'll be for them the lesser of two evils. And how do they proceed with this quote unquote addiction to nicotine that they have, or that requirement to have something in their life that sort of feeds their vice, right? So if they can't get their vapes, they're just going to go back to buying their $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 pack of cigarettes just to kind of get their nicotine. 15 past presidents, not presidents as we know them, 15 past presidents of the Society for Research on Nicotine and Tobacco have noted that the war on youth vaping has potentially reduced vaping's possible contribution to reducing adult smoking. This was written by 15 past presidents for that society. That organization was written in the American Journal of Health. 15 past presidents. That means that these people have been saying for a long time, if you're going to go and approach a flavor ban because you're riding on the coattails, or at least on the narrative that you're trying to curb youth addiction, which I don't even really think youth issues were predominant any more than maybe the last few years, like maybe 2017, go back that far up to 2021, where you really kind of saw like an explosion of kids actually trying vaping. I don't even think the kids were really kind of cognizant that it was going on, that vaping was becoming as popular as it was, until devices like Juul kind of showed up on the market. They're like, hey, it's small, stealthy, gives me a buzz. I can stick it in my pocket. I can hide it in my backpack. I can keep it away from mom and dad because I'm not going to stink. But 15 past presidents did note that if you do ban it based on what you claim to be as a youth epidemic, you're probably going to hurt the people that need it the most, which will be the adults, the people that could actually make that switch. The decision tomorrow will effectively come down to one thing, and that is whether each e-cigarette in consideration is appropriate for the protection of public health. And that's really what the PMTA process is trying to prove. That's part of the scientific study, and one that's very difficult to prove just based on the highest level premise of all, and that is that it's, kids are interested in it, and because it exists, kids are more than likely to try it because of different factors like flavors. Juul has effectively ended the sale of fruity flavors. They pulled those off the market a long time ago under the guise that they were trying to do something to curb youth usage but still offer product to people that were trying to quit smoking. And I don't know, I don't buy Juuls, I don't buy vapes at C-stores and gas stations, so maybe you guys can tell me whether or not these things exist. I don't know how they make it different for Juul and everybody else, but apparently they instilled stronger age verification standards in stores. How does that work? Does anybody even know how that plays out? Like, if I go to buy a Juul, is there something that pops up on the console that the guy's ringing me up on?
The same thing with alcohol.
Me to have to prove things otherwise?
It's the same with alcohol. It's the same thing with alcohol, Tim. It pops up on the screen and they have to put a birth date in.
So to me, I'm going to disagree. With C-stores, I really don't think that they really check IDs. Even if they're like close to it, like 18, they're just going to put in like a date and just sell the product. To me, like I have that much faith in C-stores. I know that, they do sell a lot of, cigarettes to minors, and plus they're actually one of the top like FDA like stings. is C-stores for selling to minors. So, I mean, if for every one minor that gets it, we can't hear you, Tim. For every one minor that sells, I'm pretty sure there's going to be probably another 10 that's gotten away from it.
Right.
So,
What about tobacco shops, combo shops?
Combo shops are,
Yeah,
I think they're different up here. So I mean there's that. I do get carded where I go sometimes, but I mean it's not as often.
Right.
But I do know minors who are getting them all the time.
Sure.
It's because that they, like, people who are 18 and in high school, they do know somebody who's 21, and they do know somebody who's actually getting it for them.
Right.
I've seen this.
All right, so I mean, so there's that. I didn't know that they had put in any kind of process to kind of help curb the ability for younger generation people to actually buy those things. But of course, if you're not carding them and just kind of letting them through the line, that stuff doesn't work, right? And they've all but ceased their advertising in the United States. This is Juul. They're doing this under the guise that they're trying to curb youth usage. So they're cutting out a lot of the things that people are telling them or saying to them, hey, well, it's because you're cotton candy and your mango. That's why kids are vaping. So let's keep it to tobacco and menthol. Put in ID checks, stronger ID checks, and pull your advertising. Kids like advertising, apparently.
Hey, Tim, didn't you do an article about Juul having to register with your phone when you purchased one?
The newer Juul that came out, there was a secondary Juul, I don't know if they called it the Juul 2 or just Juul version 2.0, that they had an app that ran in conjunction, and apparently it would not allow you to use the vape device unless you registered with that app. Right. But I do think that there was a way to get around that, and that people were skipping using that particular thing. There is data supporting both sides of this debate, the pros and the against side. That Juul had a peer-reviewed study that they actually paid for and put out, that nearly 9,000 North American users, out of 9,000 North American users of their products, 40% of those quit smoking in just about 6 months. So that's part of the argument that they're making, and why they're trying to show that it actually has a net health benefit to adults. That that of those 9,000 people that they did a study on, almost half of them quit smoking within a 6-month period. Peer-reviewed research in 2021 of 56 studies found that e-cigarettes are more effective at helping smokers quit over all other NRT therapy methods, and that includes patches, gums, lozenges, therapy. What else? What else do they do? Medications. Chantix, Wellbutrin. Hypnosis. That 56 studies showed that e-cigarettes are far more effective than all of those combined at helping people quit. The same researchers admit that more research is needed on the long-term effects of vaping. I do agree that we need to know more about it down the line, although the Royal College of Physicians has done basically a 10-year study. And nobody's died yet, not for vaping free-base nicotine or not nic salt nicotine, only the THC stuff. As of 2020, this was last year, 20% of U.S. high school students said they vaped in the past month, which is down 27.5% from 2019. So they're trying to still say that there's an epidemic, but the percentages have fallen dramatically. Now, pretty sure COVID played a part in all that, because the kids got stuck at home and they couldn't get away with shit like they could before. Yeah. The FDA has been tight-lipped about its thoughts on Juul's applications. Their PMTA only covers tobacco and menthol and the related device. That's it. Their PMTAs are for like 3 things, basically. Just the device, the kit, and those 2 particular elements of flavor. The initial MDO issuances signal a potential bad outcome for Juul on the surface, just simply based on the nature of the MDO rulings, which I notated are basically, you can't prove that it's going to help adults more than it's going to cause kids to vape. It's also been expected that smaller vape companies would most likely fail the PMTA process. We don't know what kind of favoritism will be shown to Juul and Vuse, who have a much larger budget to work with. So basically, they're putting the FDA is going to look more at companies that have larger market share, and that would be companies like Juul and Vuse, before they rule on the smaller vape, mom and pop type shop things, or small manufacturers. We can only hope that the FDA looks beyond the one-track minded talking point, and that is the youth epidemic. Companies experiencing rejections are looking to stay viable by moving to synthetic nicotine. We talked about that earlier. That's the new wave, right? So a lot of these companies that got MDOs are going to pull their products back, and they're just going to go to synthetic nicotine. Puff Bar, who has been using synthetic nicotine for quite some time, I think it was as early as it said since spring. That's Puff Bar. They've stayed around just simply because of the synthetic nicotine. And even if companies pass the PMTA process, big if, the companies must adhere to very strict guidelines. And if they don't follow those particular guidelines, even after the fact, they could have their PMTA approval rescinded if they're found breaking the law. But this is a big one. So tomorrow, I encourage everybody to kind of keep their eyes on the news to see what the FDA rules and how they rule. I don't know if this will be televised information, C-SPAN, whatever. But the FDA is going to basically make a ruling, and I think there's a lot of people that are really apprehensive about exactly what that outcome is going to be. Will they allow flavors to stay on the market? Will it only be certain things that companies that are only doing tobaccos and menthols that will still be allowed to stay on the market? What's going to happen? We're going to find out that fate tomorrow, supposedly, but we'll see how government handles this, the FDA in general. My takeaway on this was just things could get very dark really quickly after tomorrow. Yeah, either way, there will be controversy, and we just need to knuckle down and figure out how to help each other out. Yeah. So try to keep people in the mix. I will bring this up real quick. Well, real quick, John.
Go ahead.
I just want people to see this really fast. Can I make this bigger?
That's what she said.
Yes, I can. I think I can. I think I can.
I think it was on the very bottom of the bar there.
You're right. There you go. There it is. All right. These are some of the companies that had MDOs issued, right? I put this on the group the other day. Great American Vapes, JD Nova, we talked about them. Vapor Salon, Big Time Vapes. These are just some of the companies that were issued flat-out MDOs. Yep. These are companies that have been told they got to pull their products off the shelf. Out of all of these, the only one that really kind of jumped out at me as being one that I recognized straight away was Buckshot.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. I was just looking at that one thinking to myself, God, I don't remember that name.
Some of these I don't know. And to be frank, a lot of these companies are not mainstream e-liquid manufacturers that we're going to see through a lot of our sites
down
that
more, Tim. Scroll down more.
Sir Vapes a lot. Mountain Vapors, Dominant Vapor, Midwest Vape Supply, Lovely.
Royalty Premier Ear Juice, I know.
Okay.
Allison Vapeland, I know that one. That was actually a long time ago.
And MV, Brian.
Planet of the Vapes, I'm familiar with.
Oh, Planet of the Vapes is a big one, which is sad to see because that one is local to me. That's a Sacramento. That's a Sacramento company.
Yeah, so I mean, these are companies that got MDOs. Only a handful or a few of these I really kind of predominantly recognize. But a lot of these are companies that have like their own in-house juices.
Right. Yeah.
You don't see. Yeah, you don't really see them on ejuice.com too much or Vape Royalty and places like that. So I didn't see big names like Candy King on here or Jam Monster or any of those kind of names. Right. I didn't see the Five Ponds, ones like that. The ones that we're used to seeing in the mainstream. Loaded.
Planet of the Vapes. They have a big factory. I mean that's a big time fucking name to be on that list. Because they have a lot of stores, and they have their own lines, and they produce lines for other companies. So I'm wondering how many of those companies on this list actually get their stuff made from Planet of the Vapes, because they may be shit out of luck as well.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure on that one necessarily, but in the end, I expect a lot of these companies to go to synthetic nicotine to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's your news. That's it. So everybody pay attention to the news tomorrow. Big day.
Yeah, personally, I think you're going to see. We're going to wait on this and hold up. It's going to be. I don't see a decision being made, but that's just my opinion. I see them milking this for another few months until they can get a little bit more done with the PMTAs. That's just my opinion, but I see them milking this until maybe first of next year.
So here's a little thing with like what you were talking about, Tim, with everything. Is there's been a little shuffle going on in the background with the vape stuff too, with the groups and all that stuff too. For those who don't know, we've had the ladies from AVM on, and you know they're fighting hard with all this stuff. But David Gray and Lindsay Stroud from Safada went over to AVM to help them fight all this stuff. So that's pretty awesome. The president of Safada went over there to help him go through everything, to help people get their stuff done, to fight against all this stuff. And that to me is actually pretty awesome.
Yep.
So for those who don't know about that stuff, that's to me that means a lot. People are trying to work together to get, you know, stuff done. So I applaud them.
Yes, you're correct. Green Thumb. Monster Vape Labs is Jam Monster.
Yep.
All of the Jam Monster shit, like Fruit Monster, Ice Monster, Custard Monster, Lemonade Monster, all that stuff. That's all Monster Labs.
Correct. Only Brian would get that joke. Yes.
But they're not.
I'm just gonna say yes.
They're not on that list though yet.
All right, real quick, the last one. And this is the poll question. What age do you consider someone being an adult? And I find it funny because it all depends on the government, the company, and whoever gets to decide. I like I said, I think it's funny. One of the funniest things I think is the rental car agencies. I get why they want to wait. They won't let kids rent cars that are under 25. But if you're considered an adult at the age of 18, you can vote at age 21. You can buy alcohol and tobacco, but you can't drive, and you can't drive a rental car until you're 25. So I did the poll on two different pages. So the first one I'll pull up real quick is off the ZampleBox page. I was kind of curious. Some of the responses too was to why they believed certain ages. Well, 21 won out here. So nine people on the ZampleBox page said, 9 people said 21. 18 was number 2, 19, 20, and one person actually 25. Now, I wasn't aware. Actually we had Phil from England. I didn't know the drinking age was 18 in England. I just
a lot of countries it's that.
Yeah, it was surprising to me, and it's funny how the disparities between the two countries. Like, I know I know in England you can't buy a gun, right? That's correct. There's certain parts of Europe where you can buy a gun, and you can't buy a gun until you're 21, but you can drink when you're 18. So I was kind of shocked by some of the things that England does, a little bit different than we do. 18, you can drink there. At 21, you can buy a firearm, I guess, but like for hunting purposes only, I guess, right? Like a shotgun. You could buy a shotgun if you can prove that you're going to use that gun solely for hunting, which I find pretty funny. Let me go over to the. So we're kind of curious for you guys out there. What age do you consider someone to be an adult?
I think if you're old enough to be shipped overseas to fight for our country, I think that makes you an adult.
Right. Yep. And one of our other members on our other page was let me know that I guess there are some military bases that have places for people that are in the military to actually drink at 18. I didn't know that. They're on base. They're on base, so it's not like they could take off and go do something, but you go drinking. But they are on base facilities.
Yep.
And 18 won here, and I think a lot majority of us is like Tim said. Do you think, Tim, though, that the age to register or to become a soldier should be higher?
No,
considering other circumstances.
No, because if you think about it, you know, even though 18-year-old kid's probably still in a developmental stage, I still think a kid is convicted enough that, he, can go and stand on the front line or drive a tank or fly, be on a boat, whatever the case might be. If you can stand and fight for our country to defend our ability to stay free, you are an adult.
Yeah.
And all these other nuancy shit, like technically the human, the adult brain isn't fully developed till it's 25. That was an argument about raising the age for vaping to 25.
Right.
I think it's a bunch of nonsense. I do think that kids are. I think kids have changed a lot today too. I definitely think a kid is
more
mature.
catered.
Well, mature enough. I mean, we were theoretically getting kicked out of the house when we were 18. Going and renting an apartment. Shit like that. I mean, they can put you out on the street at 18. At 18, you're technically responsible enough to be an adult to have a child.
Since we're the same age, do you think you're more mature as an 18-year-old back then than an 18-year-old today?
No, I think I'm far more mature enough now.
You were far more mature.
I do think that 18-year-olds make bad choices, at 18 years old. But again, if you're going to say a kid is old enough to send him somewhere to fight for our country and defend our rights, he is an adult.
I think if he's old enough to be charged as an adult for a crime he commits,
well,
along with joining the military and voting and all that.
Well, see, that one fluctuates too. That one fluctuates as well too.
It depends on the crime.
Yeah, I mean, if you murder someone at 16, they'll try to push you as an adult, especially if you planned it all out.
But I picked 18 for those reasons.
Yeah.
And if you're old enough to go and die for this country, you're old enough to have a fucking cigarette, a vape, a beer, what the hell ever. Drive a rental car.
A hooker, rent a car.
Rent a hooker and buy a car. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I just do that because Tim's article from back then kind of flew into my mind this morning. And I was like, you know what? I'd like to see what other people think they consider. Because the kids today are a little bit different than say, Tim and I were when we were 18. We, like Tim says, we all made mistakes.
I was fresh out of high school at that point. I hadn't even gone away to school or anything.
Do you think you were better prepared for life at 18 today?
No, but I put that blame on my family in the sense that, my mom and dad were a little protective as I was growing up. And so I was kind of, I had some privileges growing up, and my mom was always there to make sure I still got good grades, and she saved me in a lot of cases. And so when I went away to school at 18 years old, college, on my own, in a dorm, with all the lures around me of alcohol and everything else going on, and partying and being free and making decisions on your own, I was making dumb decisions. But I was not prepped. I wasn't prepared.
Like Daniel said, you guys were fresh out the Civil War.
Fuck you, Daniel. Fuck you, Daniel. No, it just came up in my thought, like I said this morning. I was just kind of curious, and then some of the responses were really, really, really curious too, as well, is what some people thought was, it's like everyone says, if it's 18, but then some people brought up the fact that, we aren't really in war times, so they should bump everything up to 21 and just leave it the hell alone. So if you're 21, you can join the military. Go ahead.
We've been in war times for the past almost 20 years.
But technically, we technically already have enough soldiers to fight whatever current wars we have. So that's what I'm saying. And
look who finally shows up. Fucking Paul.
And then also to think about it, war purposes, I'm talking military. Even the military has gotten to the point where they're very selective on who they're picking. It doesn't matter that you're 18. You're going to have to fill some sort of bar before you come.
Well, it might matter what branch you go into, too.
Yeah, no, I was going into that. Even the Army has bumped it up some to where, and I get it. Back then, Tim, honestly, some of us, that was our only option to move forward in life. And I think that's a great outlet. But I think kids today at 18 graduating from high school, if you're considered them.
But that's my other argument to it, right? Yeah. You're taking 18-year-old people and you're shoveling them off to universities and saying, okay, you're autonomous now. You're going to be responsible for, you might be in a dorm for the first 2 years, But you're other than an RA who's going to come down and tell you to not make so much noise in your room because people are trying to sleep. That's that has nothing to do with the fact that you are now responsible to get up and go to class on your own, study on your own, make sure you take care of yourself and wash your clothes and do all that. You don't have a mommy anymore.
Right.
You're an adult, right? You're on you're on an island at a university. I think you're an adult.
You're an adult. Yeah. Then they need to change it all to 18.
Well, here's my thing with this is there's a couple of different angles on this. Right. So, to me, like if you want to have certain things at 21, certain things at 18, just have a blanket at 21. Just be done with it. And then from there, like if you join the military, that's one of the perks of being in the military is you can be in a show your military ID and have the perks of doing that, doing whatever you want, doing the adult things at 18 because you're showing maturity, being in the military per se. And so the other caveat of that is if you have military ID and you do things at 18, you get caught with it, you get tried as an adult. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
But if you're 21, you get tried as an adult. But if you want to lower things to 18, just because for the sake of it, you're an adult, quote unquote, then try as an adult. But you can't have all this mixture of all these different things.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of those weird people where there should be
if you get a DUI at 18, you're an adult.
Right. Yep.
And Paul, tell those young Australian girls to quit lying about having cosmetics in their vapes and shit in Australia. The fuck's up with that, man?
Yeah.
The fuck.
And the same chemical that you euthanize. Who the fuck euthanizes a fish?
I always thought you euthanized a fish by taking it out of the water.
Well, here's one thing. Like Tom might know this is that even in the gun industry, there's different rules too. So you can have long guns when you're 18,
Right.
but you can't have
handguns.
shotguns, short shotguns or pistols,
Right.
until you're 21.
21.
But you can have long barrel shotguns when you're 18.
Right.
Mhm.
And a rifle.
So-
You can have a rifle at 18.
Mhm.
Yep, rifle and long barrel shotguns at 18.
Yeah.
So to me, it's where's that line? Are you saying that somebody who has a gun at 18 is more of an adult? Because they're able to buy that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how about one way or the other? You can't keep this whole thing mixed around because all they're going to do is try to skirt the rules then, and you see that a lot in the gun industry.
How old do you have to be to have a Red Ryder BB gun?
12, I think. 12.
Over.
You're gonna shoot
it's like
somebody's
over-
your eye out. Be
Well,
careful,
I
you're
mean,
gonna shoot
your dad
somebody's
gives
eye out.
here's the thing, is that any firearm, if it's given to you by a family member,
Right. There,
is okay. So somebody so if I buy a pistol and give it to my daughter who's 3,
Loopholes,
that's legal.
Yeah, hey.
That's
Loopholes,
legal.
baby.
You know
Shoot
what I
him
mean?
up,
Like,
Tex.
Dude,
Shoot him up.
Yeah.
I want to see your 3-year-old with a pistol.
No, I think the
That
BB
would be
guns,
hilarious.
even the BB guns are. I think it's 12 or 13.
I
on
was
a BB
just
gun.
joking.
No, but there is a law for them. There is.
I'm
There's
pretty
a-
sure. I mean, we had access to them when we were kids
There's
and
a
we were
law
young.
for
so.
everything.
My
guys.
glasses will save me.
That's
Yeah.
right, pals. Ting 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 ting.
All right, guys, we are done. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. Next week's show will be on Thursday. Thursday night, we have Amanda. I can't say her last name.
Don't know.
Allison.
Allison.
Allison Bueller.
No, it's not
apologize.
Bueller.
I'm
do
sorry.
you not know who we have on?
I can't
No,
pronounce
he can't
her last
say
name. I can't
names.
say names. I'm no good with names. So
Words are hard for
The only
John.
one he can say is Pels because it's just so
Yeah.
damn easy.
yeah,
And Paul, because we got like 8 of them.
Yeah. And Daniel. Because we got like
Yeah.
400 of them.
and I'll show you who's up. How's that? That'll make it easier.
Yeah, just show her picture. This one right here. Allison Bogner.
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 Yeah.
Bogner. I think it's Bogner.
Is it
Prisco.
Bogner or Bogner?
Allison
Prisco.
Or
Well,
Prisco.
that's
That's her
her-
maiden name. That's her name. Yeah.
Yeah. she's
She'll be on
married.
the show next week, Thursday night at 6 p.m. Again, we will not be on Wednesday. We are accommodating her. She has a very busy schedule, so we're going to go ahead and do the show on Thursday night to get her on. So remember, I will be posting it all week, so you guys will know not to maybe I'll jump on and do something special Wednesday. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Now, for those who are in chat, be nice to our new person.
Yes,
because all of our guests.
You're the newest person because
listen.
Your appearance schedules.
I'm like a weird guest coming on.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Don't
you always
disclose
have to be
that,
nice
Brian.
to new people. Except for me, I'm a whole different story.
Yeah, Daniel. Be nice to the lady.
Yeah, be nice to our lady.
Thanks for
guests.
showing up, everybody.
Thank you, Bueller.
Thank you for coming.
Bueller. All right, guys, we are out of here, and we'll see everybody next Thursday. And again, thank you for the mix-up. Thank you, boys, for jumping in there and taking care of the show. Tom and Tim. Sorry, Brian, I was trying to get back logged on to bring you in. I figured you were there. I was trying to bring you back. Couldn't even get on my phone. So, all right,
yeah,
guys.
I was hanging out for like a half hour. It's fine.
Yeah,
not a big deal. I see how important I am. So it's usually not my fault. It's because mainly John's fault because I'm not on.
Send the complaints to Comcast at. No, I'm joking. We'll see everybody next Thursday. And again, peace out and take care of yourselves. And where's my outro? There's the outro.